So you'll know when it's working because it'll light up red.
Yeah, that's a good indication.
Red means go.
Red means go, especially on YouTube.
Always on YouTube, red means go. And sometimes, if you're colorblind when you're driving, red means go.
I hope I can not use this because I don't really like this thing.
I feel like you're not using it right now.
And then I can use it for other things. I can put other things on it.
You can like fasten something to it to make like a display. So when you're talking about books, you can just set up.
Oh yeah.
By your face.
I can literally just display it right here, and then
you can just set something.
I can just push it into the spring.
You can. That's definitely a thing.
Maybe I should try it.
We should. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Legion of Comics. It's Friday, so that means this is the start of today's epic hangout. It actually works fantastic. Everybody, if you have a Comic Tom exclusive or something is killing the children issue number, who cares? You have to get one of these new displays that Tyler is just experimenting with. Some people call them boom mics or something like that. Boom mic stand. Is that what kind of display it is?
Yeah. If I let it go, it's going to be a catapult.
Oh, that's really cool. So it's multifaceted.
I wonder if I have a book I can try that out on.
You just had one in there.
No, I don't want to do it with that one.
Grow a pair, Tyler. You got this.
I know I've got one.
I know they made a lot of sturdy books out there that I'm sure would be fine with it, like Heroes in Crisis. Good morning, Trav. Station, my man, who's in the Atlantic time zone. I was talking to him yesterday about some people live on islands off the eastern coast, and they're no longer in that eastern time zone. They have moved so far east out into the ocean. It's almost like they're on nautical time zones. But it's pretty cool to learn about that new time zone yesterday. Good morning, Flash by Night. Glad you can make it. He sees us with so many eyes. Oh, that was nice.
It works, just not as good as I was hoping.
You not only display books from your collection, but defend your collection at the same time from invaders.
Wow.
Good morning. Josh is in the building. We are one with Legion. Good morning. I'm actually driving. We'll check back in later to give an official high five. That sounds awesome. Sounds good. Hey, Peanut Butter 524 is here. Haven't seen you. Man, glad you can make it. How have you been doing? Good morning. Good morning. Got a Party Har station from Team Nerdy. Trav, check your IG messages. I sent you a link in case you want to jump on. I know you're an early bird like myself. Don't know if you're busy this morning or what have you. Feel free to hop in and hang out.
Yeah, sometimes people are busy because of like work and stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of true.
Kind of stupid.
Sometimes people aren't at work on days of weeks. Sometimes people are at work and not busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see them crackers? You want to tell Tyler good morning? Let's tell Tyler good morning. Oh.
Good morning. What's up?
Tell him, hey.
What you eating?
So what you got? You got to show him. Show him.
What is it? Ooh, those look good. Are you allowed to eat those for breakfast or just Skittles?
Just Skittles. But we've already given her Skittles, so now she's good for crackers.
Oh, yeah. Last night was an interesting show on Ryan's channel.
Dude, that was a blast.
That was the most different Thursday night chat I've ever seen, and it was great.
It was a Cosmic Campfire edition. We read a couple of books.
Yeah, it was. Well, it was such a light week. What's up?
I need you to go get your beard, get dressed. After you're dressed, you can come back.
What?
Yeah. What I thought.
Beardless Chip.
Beardless Chip is in the building.
What is going on?
Beardless Chip is in the building. Yes.
How are you this morning, brother?
Very good, very good. How are you doing today?
Doing good, man. We haven't even said the word Loki yet because you weren't here, but now that you're here, I just said the word.
You know, I hated it, so that's what
Hated
it is.
it.
No, you didn't. Did you really? You hated it?
No, actually, I did. I actually thought it was really good.
It was such a good episode, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It
Oh
was
my
really good.
Yeah, I was excited for it. I had a buddy of mine called, or I was at work yesterday, and he's like, "Did you see Loki?" I was like, "No." He goes, "Oh man." He goes, "Dude," he goes, "All I gotta tell you is wait till the ending credits because the comic that normally is like a $20 comic just skyrocketed. Maybe you have it." I'm like, "Really?
Which
I don't
one?
have it." I think it was a Thor comic. I can't remember. It was the first appearance of.
I can look it up real quick because their Instagram page I have got some messages yesterday. Hey, you have Thor, blah blah blah. Where's the little kid?
Yeah, fourth. It was like for Kid Loki or whatever, but that was 470
Have that for sale.
Yeah. So that took a big jump real quick.
Yeah. Let's see. Here we go. It's pretty funny watching because like people can direct message the Pops Attic Instagram page that me and Pops have.
Yeah.
And ask us if we have stuff that hasn't made it up there yet, because it kind of just works its way up there. It's like Loki Agents of Asgard is the one where he's a woman. Thor Volume 3, number 5 is the one where he's a kid, I believe. Something like that.
Yeah, so I thought it was something like that. I couldn't remember what the. Cool.
So, what else did you think of the episode, Chip?
Sheesh. No, I thought it was good. I thought it was interesting how the the variants are finally realizing the Time TVA people are actually realizing their actual variants.
Or 617.
Is that what it is? 617?
I believe so.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Can you guys hear me?
What, Tyler?
Can you hear me?
No.
No.
I'm on my new mic.
Yeah, no, we don't hear you.
Okay.
I hear your heart beating. It's hard to make out the words, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Here it is.
Look at you. Look at you.
Yeah, I ordered it last time we were on.
Oh, very cool.
So now I've got it.
Is yours lit up?
Yeah, it is lit up.
Huh.
My lighting, and if you've ever been able to tell, my lighting in here is pretty not great.
Yeah, I've got like a chandelier above me that when I turn on, you know.
Here, let's see if I can take this out. It doesn't look as bright as yours.
You know, you can just tap the top of it to mute and unmute. Just
yeah.
Watch now ours look the same.
Yeah.
Now they look different.
Oh wait.
Mine's brighter because it came from Chip.
Yeah, right.
Chip probably put in like proper LEDs in it and everything. And
what setting do you have it on? There's like a bunch of different settings.
Talking about the button on the back?
Yeah. The like listing thing.
So you know how there's not a middle one because there's only 4?
Uh-huh.
So not middle, one to the right.
The one with like the Pac-Man looking guy.
The one that looks like an upside down heart.
Yeah.
Do I have crackers fit in my hair?
This is the information everyone wants.
Wipe your mouth. Good job.
Gain control. What is B?
Good job.
Oh, the bottom's your gain? I didn't know
that's
that.
the gain on the bottom. So as you,
That's cool.
yeah.
So that's where you can hear like all the background stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna turn mine all the way up, Tyler.
I think
Can y'all hear?
the higher it is, the better it is, right?
It depends on what your objective is, I think.
I don't have any objectives really.
Then definitely higher for you.
Yeah.
I keep mine all the way down because even all the way down, you can still tell that I run daddy daycare.
Yeah, well, that's why we enjoy it.
Yeah, I
Get the
hope.
real effect.
I really hope so. Good morning, Mark Spector Comics. How are you
Good
today?
morning, Dave. How you doing, sir?
You guys have time erased. Sweet. Okay, back to Loki. Back to Loki here. I thought it was fantastic. There was no real reveals in this one because they kind of gave us the information in the last one, but it was awesome watching it play out. Like when they started the episode and showed the room with the time variance, I'm like, oh, this set looks amazing. How are they going to play this? Because I had a feeling that was either a flashback, which it was, or there's something more to it. And as soon as they walked in there at the end, just the way it was presented, I'm like, okay, this isn't real. This is where they're going to show us what they've already told us, that this is all a farce.
Yeah.
And man, was the presentation fantastic. I thought it was great. And the way that they took Owen Wilson out, just out of left field, when he just had that moment of realization that he wasn't going to leave that hallway, when he tried to play it off so well, like, what's going on? Why is everyone so nervous? Blah, blah, blah. And then he finally just drops his shoulder, seeing that he's not going to get away. You know, he's like, they're not falling for it.
Yeah.
Like, in that little moment, was like, you know where I would go? Some Earth where I'm happy with my old life, and I'd be on a jet ski.
Yep.
And you're not invited, and they just hit him, like, no goodbyes, no drawn out anything, just bam, gone.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that was wicked. Oh, that was wicked.
But we already see that it seems like he's gonna be back.
That's one thing that I'm not necessarily excited about. Is I love his character. Hated to see him go, but if you're going to take him away from us, take him away from us. Don't feel like you need to keep him around forever. And I thought that was the coolest thing when you saw that moment where Loki just can't tell Enchantress the way he's feeling. He's just sitting there, just dragging it out. I'm like, oh, he's gone. And sure enough, he gets hit in the back and erased or reset or whatever. And as soon as that happened, my brain immediately started switching gears, like, how much do I enjoy this Enchantress character? Can she carry a show? Am I going to? I started running the variables in my head attached to that character, and I'm like, all right, let's roll with this. Like, despite how I feel about her, that's what I got now. She's going to be leading this. Like, fantastic. And I'm watching the credits, just sitting there processing, and then boom, after credits, you're like, oh, fiddlesticks.
Yeah, fiddlesticks.
Yeah, I don't think I would have been super excited about just her, but it would have been interesting. Like, I want them to do something different, so I would have been down for it. Yeah,
it didn't have to be just her again, because like variants, you know. But the Loki that became sentimentally attached to her, that we've been following from that one time variation, didn't have to survive, you know. Like, it's already not our Loki. This whole show is centered around not our Loki. So it doesn't matter how we feel about not our Loki, because there's more not our Lokis. It can be cooler, worse, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
alligator.
Yeah, alligator. Exactly. She could have easily found another one to go to war with a team of Lokis or whatever. But absolutely agree, Dave. Best episode yet.
Absolutely. By far.
Yeah.
By far.
Yep.
Off of it.
Good morning, Ken.
Every
time I tell him good morning, he runs out of the room crying. It's fantastic. Good morning.
I searched for LCS last night to subscribe to LCS, and I couldn't find him because there's a million on YouTube.
LCS.
Yes.
What's LCS?
He's in the chat. I know he's a newer YouTube channel, and Freaky Louie shouted him out.
Oh, okay. I see him
last night, and I was like, so I searched for him. I couldn't find him. So we need LCS's link in the chat. If somebody can drop it.
Can y'all hear me right now?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
That's weird. So my microphone is not the one that's hooked up. That's funny. I keep turning it off when the kids scream.
Oh yeah. No.
I still don't have this down pat. I tell you what. What about now? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, that's way better. Oh, I want to hear me to see if I sound any different.
Oh, you sound different. We hear you and you trust us, so that's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I do.
LCS has so many potential subscribers here right now. If you would only
LCS, if you're here.
Hey, Daddy.
Yeah, we need.
Good morning, Finn.
We need to see you drop your link. Can you make him a mod or somebody mod that is a mod? Find him.
Let me see if I can find this. Let me see if I can find him.
I might be able to find him on my computer because last night when I was on my phone, there was like 15 LCSs in a row, and then
It'd
it
be
got
so
into
much
like
easier if you could click on people in the chat. You can't like hit someone's
I know.
name in the chat.
Yeah.
Like let me check them out. And YouTube's like, oh, you want to report them? I'm like, no. I just want to say hey.
LCS. Is it local comic shop? Is that who he is? Yeah, that's who he is.
It's just
I got his link.
God, of course, Chip does.
Of course,
you don't know, Chip is internet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the problem is I can't chat. So give me 1 second. I gotta get into our.
If Chip can't do it, no one can.
No,
I got it.
See, point proven. He started to pretend like he couldn't. He just wanted to humble brag for a second.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think I can get it. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I got it. Yeah.
It's that
No
Scotty
big
era,
deal.
So LCS is linked in the chat below. He's at 163 subscribers right now. Now he's at 165. Let's keep it going, people. I was already subscribed to him. I don't know when I subscribed.
I was not because it's like the third time I've seen him and the same problem happened. So I'm glad you popped in. So
we're gonna try to get him to 199 subscribers today, and when we do, Tyler's gonna give away his old microphone. I'm just kidding.
I would give it away if someone wants it. You would need a microphone?
I do.
No, you don't. Anyone else?
Hey, what the hell? Sheesh. Feel the love.
Yeah.
Feel the love.
Chip, you wouldn't want this one. It was cheap. Chip's a high roller.
Yeah, right.
If
Far
you
from
didn't know. Chip only collects keys over here.
Yeah.
A key. He says, "Get out of here."
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I lost pieces. There's pieces of this microphone somewhere.
The old one?
Yeah, because I took it apart.
Oh, then I don't want it. If you lost the pieces.
Well, I didn't lose it. They're sitting here somewhere. Yeah, LCS is going to be doing a community awards show. I don't know because, like I said, I searched for him last night and couldn't find him, so I don't know any details. But I heard that. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to checking that out to see like what it is or if you vote. I want to know what it's about. It sounds really cool. You should hop on LCS if you can hop on with us. And are you on Instagram? Follow me or Chip on Instagram and send us a message. And then we can send you the link to join and you can tell us about it.
You don't want it. I don't know what to tell you.
Because once again, when I search LCS on Instagram, oh, you actually popped up. It's a miracle. I'm sending it to you.
Oh, yeah, I'm at dude. Are you? I was gonna say you got him on Instagram.
Yep, I just sent it to you.
I was gonna say
I was gonna hop in and tell us about the awards and like what your plans are. And we can tell you how it's all a bad idea, and we're gonna make sure you never want to come back on YouTube.
Yeah, stay away from this community.
We're just mean guys over here.
Don't ever go on Whack Comics.
Nope. Steve will tell you that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That he will.
Steve will tell you that.
Yeah. Oh my Lord. The look of terror on his face during that interview was pretty funny.
Oh, it was the
He's
best.
just like,
That was the best time of my life. I can't wait to have you on to do it to you, Chip.
Me?
Oh, yeah.
That's where I start white shadowing it, damn it. As soon as you ask, I'm like, yep, I gotta do my laundry. I gotta shave.
White shadow in full effect as soon as me and Lee want you on. Whoa.
Jeez, Finn didn't like that. Or was that what's the daughter's name? I don't even know what the little one's name is.
I think they're both named Finn.
Oh, okay, cool. Makes life easy.
It's Finn and Gwen.
Finn and Gwen?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Gwen.
Oh, is it Gwen?
I think he named her after Gwen Stacy.
Oh, I was thinking Gwen Stefani, but okay.
Or Stefani.
Who, Laura?
Is it Laura?
Oh, I thought you named her Gwen.
Why didn't you name her Gwen?
Not Laura, it's Laura.
It's not Laura, it's Laura.
Lara?
Lara.
That's the same thing.
Like Laura Zarel. Her first name is Gwen
Like
after
Lara Croft?
That too. You can say that, but no. And so everyone in my family goes by middle names except me. My dad's middle name. My dad's a junior. His middle name is Russell. He goes by Russ. What is going on, Brian? How are you this morning?
Morning, guys.
Morning.
Just rolled out of bed and heard you guys talking about me, and here I am on the show.
Another one who has a nice bed made right behind him.
Yeah.
I don't have the cool comic setup in the back, but
my wife has that same one. I was just showing that off.
Slap Spider-Man back there.
It's like him and New Guy are going to get along great. Comparing beds.
So tell us about this community awards show and how am I going?
So what we're doing, what I set up was basically an award show for the community. So I have basically 10 categories, like best new channel, best lifetime, best series, best unboxing, 10 different categories, and basically want the community to vote on it. Fans or community members, and it's going to be just driven by votes by, like I said, by the community.
Where do people go to vote, and when does the
it's going to be all through a website, so it's cbcawards.org, and the nomination process kicks off this Saturday.
Oh, so you can't vote yet?
No, yeah, I'm going to open it up. I can open it up. I can click a button and basically publish the nominations. It really could start at any time. I have it scheduled for Saturday. And basically just want everybody to, nominate their favorite channels into different categories. I'm going to have a committee from the community review everything. Obviously we're going to look at, whoever gets the most votes, but also want to look at, are people producing content? Are they, a channel that isn't active right now? So those type of things, just to, make sure we don't nominate somebody who's not, currently active. So that's pretty much how we're doing it.
Make sure you tag me on Instagram when you do it so I can share it out more, and I'll tag a bunch of people too. Because
people
we tag,
get it set up to I'll include you guys. I've been slowly putting out stuff on Instagram and tagging some people. So a few people are starting to pick it up. Reggie collects. Reggie over at Reggie collects. Shouted it out the other day. So I actually reached out to him prior to kicking things off, and he he basically gave me some feedback on it. And I reached out to a few community members, so it's not just solely something that I came up with. Got some feedback, made a couple little changes here and there. But like I said, my channel's like 3 minutes old, but I've been involved in other communities. Who have done similar things, close knit, very supportive community. So I just thought I didn't see anybody doing anything like this. So I thought it would be a good idea, just another way to get the community together and involved with each other, and nominating, I'm watching I'm watching more YouTube, comic book content than I've ever have in the last couple of months. I'm adding new channels every day, just like everybody is. And so I just thought it would be a good way to, give, another way to keep the community together and recognize all of the great things that everybody's doing. So.
Absolutely. Speaking of newer YouTube channel people, this is one of the newer ones that is probably one of the most active people, and not just
what's going on there?
That way, just active.
Yeah,
Trav here doesn't sleep. He doesn't stop. His eyes haven't been screenless for a good 7 months straight now.
Yeah.
If
you're online, he's there with you.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say 7 months. I've only been doing this for maybe 2.5.
That's true, but you
7 of them have you been doing this
by yourself, just staring at a bright white screen, just for preparation for what you do now.
Yeah, practice,
conditioning.
You need to just have the camera on that Spider-Man behind you, because that is sick.
That is sick. I love that.
I love that.
So all it was $7 at Walmart, and
that's nice.
Really, that's awesome.
So this is Trav's first time on the channel here, as well as Brian's.
Wow,
that's awesome, Brian. This is my first time talking to you outside of just seeing you in the comments. Tell us about what got you into comics. How long have you been in comics? Tell us a little bit about.
Well, I've been collecting. I had a big hiatus from collecting, but I'm used to collect. As a teenager, I've always been a Spider-Man fan. I used to watch, the Adam West Batman as a kid with my Mego figures and play, whatever villain was on the show that episode. I would sit there and, there you go. I had all of those Mego figures as a kid. So my first Batman, Batman, that Adam West Batman was really how I got into it. And then I don't even remember how I found Spider-Man, because I've probably, started, being aware of him probably when I was like 3 or 4 years old. So I don't even remember how. And then that love of the TV show and of the characters just kind of got me into comic books probably when I was, 10 or 11. And I collected probably until I was about 20. And then, college and work and everything got in the way. And I just recently got back in probably about 2 years ago. Started regularly collecting and reading again. But I still had my comics that I had from the early 80s. And so, I started looking at some of the values on some of those. I had a run of Amazing Spider-Man. So I had, 252, 300. And
oh, nice.
So I just kind of jumped back in, and then I found, started to find all of the channels on, on YouTube. And then it was just like, well, if everybody else is doing it, I can certainly give them my opinion on what I'm doing.
Absolutely.
Who was your favorite writer in the 80s?
It's funny. I don't even know, because at the time I wasn't aware. I was aware of some of the artists, John Byrne, McFarlane. Obviously, he had a big impact on Spider-Man, but as a 13, 14, 15-year-old kid, I wasn't really looking at who the artist was regularly or writers. So it's funny. And if you see any videos on my channel, I don't really do any reviews of comic books and that, because I'm so behind on reading. Like, I'm still trying to catch up on the current Spider-Man run. So, it's just, I feel a little bad because I don't have so much of the knowledge, because I've been out of it for so long, and now I'm playing, this huge game of catch up. If you ask me who my favorite, writer or artist is today, I really don't have a good answer, because, like I said, I'm still trying to get caught up. And the other thing about all of the YouTube channels is that you see all of these great books every week, whether it's an independent title or, a storyline that somebody's, promoting. And so I'm buying even more comics than I normally would. The series that, I'm typically, I would be, when I did collect regularly back in the 80s, it was just basically all Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man. I would get some of the tie-ins. And back then, too, there wasn't a lot of variant covers. There wasn't a lot of crazy crossovers. Secret Wars was probably the big crossover of the time, and I read that storyline. So like I said, I feel a little underwhelmed, yeah, a little overwhelmed actually, because I'm playing so much catch up to try to get up to speed with, and I see, like I said, all of the channels that are promoting, or not promoting, but shouting out some of their favorite writers or storylines, and I really do feel lost. But the goal is to catch up, and then hopefully be able to talk a little bit more on that level from an artist, writer, perspective. So
this is the year of the like amazing stories. Like there's so much coming out. DC is killing it with their titles. Marvel with amazing stuff. Like, and now Spider-Man is going to be dropping like 3 times a month now. I guess.
Right. Yeah, and a couple issues I think in like September. The whole staff that's been writing and the artist is turning over on Amazing Spider-Man. So I'm actually looking forward to that. So my goal is to get caught up and then hopefully be able to read as they're coming out, because I think I'm probably at like issue 10 of the current series that started in 2018. So I have it on my iPad and I've been trying to read, but then I find myself spending so much time on YouTube watching all of you guys that it cuts into my reading time. So I'm trying to find the balance right now. It's like drinking from a fire hose right now.
In all sincerity, like to each their own, but with going from Nick Spencer's run that has been like overwhelmingly ill received, you're going to have people out there that were fine with it, but the vast majority of people talking about it feel that it's been subpar. You can easily like go on YouTube and find breakdowns of the run or story arcs to get caught up in a general sense, which that's what I kind of plan to do, like pretty much Cliff Notes Nick Spencer's run and jump on when Tom Taylor takes over, because it's kind of have like this itch to read Spider-Man, but when I try to read Spider-Man, nothing's really hitting really well except those little what if things that Chip Zdarsky's done, like Spider Shadow's happening right now, which has been really fun, and he did Life Story, but none of that is actual current continuity. I don't feel like I'm keeping up with the life of Peter Parker.
Right, yeah, the main story. And I found that, like, so, I haven't read a Spider-Man book in, it's probably been 30 years, right? And so I started reading this current series, and I was like, wow, this is like Spider-Man's still having the same problems, right? Like he can't manage his life, and it's like, I'm like, maybe as a teenager that was all right, but now as a dad and somebody who's older, I'm like, this storyline doesn't kind of feel right for me. So like it's like Spider-Man's been doing the same thing for so many years. Like, can he get it together finally?
Yeah, that's kind of like what I felt like when I read Nonstop Spider-Man #1. It felt like we're backpedaling so hard, because why is Peter this unsure of himself kid again? Like I don't know if like they're just trying to kind of keep him in line with what you see in the MCU films, but he should be a young adult, like straight up. He doesn't need to be a kid. He needs to be a young adult with a home life. Like, give him and Mary Jane a kid or something. You know what I mean? Do something with him. Like,
right,
that'd be cool.
Move the needle forward a little bit.
Yeah, that's what for having such a big break in reading, and then like, all right, I know the first run, was 800 issues, and then you had all these other different series along the way, and I jump into the the current series, and it's like it's the same thing that was happening back in the 80s with Spider-Man. It's like, yeah, we should have some progression, in his in his life, and you think he would learn from all of the mistakes he's made over the last 40 years, so you'd think the writers would try to move it forward a little bit.
Yeah, but I'm a little worried. Like, even though we're getting a new writer on Spider-Man, I haven't been picking up Spider-Man, so I can't really say how it is. But I hear a lot of people are hating on it. They're hating on Nick Spencer, but Nick Spencer himself is not a bad writer. I've read Morning Glories, and that was fantastic. I know Robbie from Pop Culture Philosophers named off a few others that Nick Spencer did. And I'm worried that Marvel is going to have give them not enough creative
Yeah, that's what I always say on the big titles. Like, maybe it's not his fault.
Yeah.
Maybe Marvel's putting them.
Point.
I'm not saying it is or isn't, because Mark's making the face. But I'm sure Marvel and DC do this. They put you in a bubble, and you have to work in that bubble. Who knows how big that bubble is?
And that's how you define how well you can write there's different books, like you say. You have limited runs, you have Elseworld type stuff, you have main continuity stuff. Some people, this is going to be a very tighten it out here. But some people might not work good on main continuity, narrow, specific characters. Like Philip Kennedy Johnson is doing great on Superman inside of that window. But if you put him on Batman, he might not shine like gold, depending on how well he can write Batman. And, Philip Kennedy Johnson just seems like the man for the job for Superman. But there's big things going on with Superman right now. And all of his stories, nothing's going on plot-wise. It's all being told on an emotional, personal level. Like the fighting, the action, the plot is the backdrop. Like you're not even paying, you're seeing it happen, but that's not where your focus is. So depending on what the character's doing, how well you can relate to that character and pull a story out of it versus have to have this major plot-driven story with Spider-Man not being able to be very plot-driven because you might be limited and you're going to like age him down and goof him up and stuff. It's the worst route to go possible. And I mean, you got to be able to pull the story out. And it's not that he's a bad writer. It's a difficult field to write in. And put him
DJ and Ryan said the same thing at the exact same time.
Well, yeah, I mean, right. If you're writing for a character that's been around, since the 60s, with a huge history and legacy, it's probably a little intimidating to try to, take it over and then do something new with it. But and I've looked at some of the recent sales of Spider-Man books, and he's, the Amazing Spider-Man book is still like in the top 10 sales every month. So. Yeah. They probably don't want to, if it's selling and people are buying the books, they probably don't want to mess with it too much.
That's another point Ryan made when you have Batman 100 through 108 being just like utter garbage, which a lot of stuff when you're in main continuity, you have to hit the brakes and you have to time your characters, people's places and things with other things that are going to be happening soon. But it's gone nowhere and people buy it up. They buy it like crazy. They talk about how it's not really that great. But DC just sees the numbers. People are buying it. Detectives out there, that's consistently a good comic book read, but people are still buying the title that just says Batman more than Detective.
Right.
So they're listening.
You have these hardcore people that will just continue. Like Big Room Collectibles will never drop Spider-Man or Batman, and like he just continues to buy it up. So like everybody that's still like a huge fan of Spider-Man will just continue to buy it, whether it's good or bad. And they won't drop it because they love that character so much, and
they're not going to break their run. Yeah,
they can't bring themselves to just drop it. They'd be like, "Oh, I'm going to give it another try. Maybe this issue will be good. Oh, maybe this issue will be good." So that's a character that the sales will never fall for.
Yeah, someone's always going to buy a Spider-Man book, right? I mean, everybody knows Spider-Man, right? It's like Superman, Batman. Some of the bigger characters, they just, yeah. I mean, There's not many people that don't know those characters, right?
Yeah.
Awkward silence.
Yeah, it's happening.
I wasn't gonna break it.
I didn't know the rules, so I figured I'd just do it well.
I enjoy silence. This was like my lightest reading week in 6 months.
Yeah, it was that fifth new comic book day of the month. Throws off the schedule. I'm just happy they put books out.
Yeah,
they did release the crossover Department of Truth, which are bigger books to put out on an off week.
I haven't heard anything about Department of Truth yet. Has anyone read it?
I haven't read it yet. I picked my copy up today, and I have to speed read certain stuff to get ready for Thursdays. Like it's hard enough to read anything by then, but this did come out, which has already been out, but it's out in paper form now. I'm excited to read that. I don't know what else I picked up. What else came out from DC? I think I only had 2 DC books. Oh yeah, Teen Titans annual. That was good.
I picked up the We Live, second printing or third printing, whatever printing.
Wasn't it like the 4th?
I don't know, maybe, but it was a cool cover, and I was surprised to just see it sitting there because I figured that's probably going to be one to shoot up.
Yeah,
I can see that becoming a series.
Oh yeah.
Wait, have you read We Live?
Oh
yeah.
We Live,
yeah. I loved it.
I hated it.
Hated it. Dude, it was hands down one of my favorite individual stories I've ever read in years. It just hit me.
Yeah, I haven't even been.
Like breathing, and sometimes someone farts.
Exactly, freaky. That's it is.
Yeah, I got to make a trip. I haven't even been to the LCS this week. I've been busy with some stuff, so I didn't even make it. My plan is to go this morning. So, so I got to see, what even new books were out this week. I mean, I've seen plenty of people on YouTube already, share, but going to go to the store myself this morning and pick up my books. So,
yeah, it was a light week.
Yeah, it was.
I'm ready for next week.
It's kind of good that it's a light week because I think July, like all of July and like the beginning of August, like end of July, beginning of August, we're gonna have like a heavy week. There's a lot of new titles coming out as well.
Yeah.
We Live 5th printing for number 1 and 3rd printing for number 5 dropped this week as well.
Yeah,
it was 5. That I didn't know number 1 dropped too.
Yeah, it's the all blue gatefold cover that they've done numerous versions of. Of course, they have the store variants and 1-15 ratio, which I believe I know somebody that has the Inaki Miranda 1-15 ratio.
Yeah, I know somebody.
Yeah, they did the normal cover, then they made it in red, then they made it tattered or something, and now it's blue.
Oh yeah, free Mark. What? I can't talk today. I feel weird without the mic here.
You look better without the mic there. Like I said, without that strange object just right in your mouth unnecessarily.
I like that normally when things are right in my face. But you won Freaky Friday.
Oh,
who did?
I won? No, you didn't win. You would never win, Chip.
That's true. That is true.
It was Mark. If you won, he'd just refresh.
He does, yes.
Yeah, I get what you're saying aggressively, but that just sounds like apologetics at this point because I see plenty of series do the same thing and it doesn't annoy people and it's well received. There's nothing wrong with enjoying it, but I don't know. What's up, Simon? What's up, Mastodon Comics? Got more
Morning,
people.
Simon. Morning, Mastodon. Morning,
We
DJ.
We Live was terrible.
Morning, Jeff.
Only read it 4 times.
Yeah. Exactly.
Exactly.
A man after my own heart right there.
Everyone's saying, hey, yeah, I'm gonna go back and watch it. I'm so far behind on the normal stuff that I watch with work kicking at full steam these days. It was like in April, man. Everyone, as soon as those vaccines rolled out, everyone's like, we can travel without getting looked at funny now. Because I'm down here in the South and I worked at a travel-based business, like more people travel, the more I'm busy. And I never missed a day of work the whole time through the pandemic. But now that the vaccine rolled out, now it's like I'm hiring people left and right. Like I hired someone day before yesterday just for this weekend. And yeah, it's just nonstop. So I got a lot that I catch up on.
Oh, did anyone watch the Long Halloween Part 1?
No, I won't. Man, I'm sad about that. I haven't had a chance to even get to the store to get it yet.
God,
I didn't even know it came out.
Yep, came out like Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah. Part 2 is right behind it. It's coming quick too.
Yeah.
But I refuse to watch the DC animated movies digital first because I'm going to buy a hard copy no matter what. So I'm not going to buy it twice.
Makes sense.
That's poor money management doing that.
Yeah, see, and
you get there.
I'm still catching up on all the shows, right? I just finished the now I'm drawing a blank. Like, so even any of the streaming services shows, like I've been current with all the Marvel stuff, but all of the other, shows, like that was another thing. Kind of when you step away from the hobby, you kind of, I wasn't watching all of the stuff. Marvel, MCU and some of the DC films, but all of the stuff on the streaming service. So, I just watched Invincible and why am I drawing a blank? Like I need to watch Sweet Tooth. I didn't read any of those books. Heard that was really good. So it's like there's just so much content to consume.
Did you watch The Boys?
The Boys, that was it. Yeah, I just finished that as well. I was drawing a blank on it. See, Homelander, but I couldn't think of the title. But yeah, so it's like it's amazing the amount of areas between reading books, all of the streaming content. You've got now obviously movies are coming back, right? We got Black Widow in a couple days next week.
Yep.
So it's like you could just spend all of your free time consuming content.
Mhm.
I think how it's going to be soon. It's just going to be like we're going to have a TV show, movie from Marvel going forth. Like once everything gets settled, that's how it's going to be. So we're always going to
Filler.
have
Yep.
content.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
Never downtime.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a good way for them to keep your interest, right? You spend your money on a streaming on Disney Plus, and then you go dropping it in the movie theater, and then if they can keep that rolling, so and certainly on the Star Wars side, with all of the Star Wars content that's coming out, soon, and then even the Marvel side, right? We've got Moon Knight, She-Hulk, a bunch of stuff that's in the future. So,
This is the link to Aggressively Relaxing's interviews that he just did. Got some feedback somewhere too. And I think
somebody's echoing.
Where he said, or promiscuous time travel. It's him or aggressively relaxing, one of them. Let me see.
Where's the other stroller?
It is promiscuous time traveler did the interview with Tom Taylor and somebody else that he just posted. Did you watch The Boys, Brian?
yes, yeah, I actually just finished that probably like last week. I had started it, I think when it first came out, I watched like 1 or 2 episodes, and then for some reason I just didn't go back. But I just finished it. I think like last week.
The greatest part of that show was the whale.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was fantastic. He
Yeah,
was
it's
standing on
definitely-
it, so proud of himself, and then that boat just wouldn't stop. He's like, wait. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting to see that, live action. It was pretty, graphic, violence and fights and, bloody, and then see it in Invincible and, same type of content, but, as animated. So it was much, for me, I'm not a big horror guy, the gore, that's not really my thing, but so it was interesting to see it animated and then live action. The animated for me was much better to just watch. I mean, like I said, because I'm just not a fan of it, but it was just interesting to see like 2 different series, one live action, one animated, but basically the same type of, theme or content. So it was interesting.
It helps that Invincible is perfect too. But I also think The Boys. I've always said The Boys season 1 is one of my favorite season 1s of all time, like of any show.
Well, yeah, it's definitely, like I said, for being a Spider-Man reader and the kind of the goofiness of that, and then to see something like The Boys where it's more, hey, the superheroes aren't all good guys, and they do make mistakes, and they the whole plane scene with where they make a decision not to, save the plane, and you're thinking of that in the super, hero world. Spider-Man, that would never happen, obviously, in the Spider-Man series. But so to see it, from a different perspective is definitely very interesting.
Yeah, I like his reaction when she asked him if he could move the plane or steer the plane away. He's like, "What? Have you seen this?"
Right? Yeah, like I got to go outside and do that. Like, come on,
It was great. What is up, Jimmy from Small Town Collectibles? Good morning,
Jimmy.
Are you up?
The whole storyline with the Deep, right? Just the mess that the Deep is, and they just continue to goof on him. That was funny.
Yeah, it definitely feels like that was written in an era when Aquaman was getting crapped on, because there was a long era where he was just like the joke of comic books. Like even in that show Entourage, he appeared on there, and he just started getting made fun of a lot out of nowhere.
Right.
To the point where after the Jason Momoa movie came out, you actually saw like memes kind of making fun of the old joke because they really squashed that in the bud, because he was badass in that movie.
Right. Yeah. Well, you're not going to make fun of him if you saw him in person. So
yeah, no. Khal Drago or whatever his name was from Game of Thrones. Yeah, that was a great movie. I really enjoyed Aquaman. But just seeing like the picture of like him riding the seahorse from the cartoon from the 60s next to the picture of him standing on the seahorse holding the reins with a trident in his hand, like screaming going into battle. You're like, okay. Yeah.
Do you love the
big
stickers? I love stickers on.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I take stickers, for all my movies. I take the stickers off. I open the movie and I put them on the inside. I still have all the sticker advertisements that come with my movies.
You should do that with all your comics too.
I
With stickers on them.
I started doing that with this one right here, Chip.
Yeah,
I think you were there for that.
I was. Yes, it was opened up on my channel.
That was the best day.
It was a rough day for me, guys.
I'm just glad it turned out okay. I mean,
Yeah.
it wouldn't. It ends up not being a big deal. But man, if that would have ripped it off, how mad would you have been? I would have been mad. It's not even mine.
Super duper mad. For those that don't know,
I'll be right back.
Eden Sky #5 was a Kickstarter that I picked up because of this exclusive cover by John Jang. I got the trade dress and the Virgin, so I didn't just get the basic one. But the creator of this, much like if you're a children's book award winner, not creator, but a children's book award winner, or if you're a comic creator that scored an Eisner Award, they would include like the little circle, like an Eisner Award sticker, like you see on volume 1 of Something's Killing the Children. He had stickers made himself and put the brand of his company and the words first edition on a sticker and slapped it on the actual paper cover of the books.
Oh, wow.
And sent them out. And then when I reached out about it in a public forum, he acted like I was crazy and that everyone loves these. And he's heard no complaints. But it was funny because I did this while live on Chip's channel, and the stream just started catching traction pretty quick. And there was no feedback of people saying, dude, next time give me 2 stickers. You know, it was all like, wait, he did what? Wait, my copies is going to have a sticker on it too. And I can understand if you'd want to do that like on like your A cover or something, but you're literally paying known artists to come in to do covers to sell your books to people who wouldn't buy your book without that artist. You know, they pay extra money for the Virgin because it has nothing on it but the art, you know. But there's the actual,
and the sticker.
Yeah, there's the sticker that I slowly had to peel off, and I did want to keep it for the story, you know, to tell like now. But it was just it was an odd thing to do, and he insisted that it wasn't a sticker; it was a foil. And if you check the Kickstarter, it mentions that. So I think when you're dealing with comic books, if you use words like chrome, foil, those have like specific meanings in the comic community. If you say it'll have a foil on the cover, people might read that as a foil cover possibly, or not know what you're talking about all the same. They wouldn't ever assume that you're the one person on the planet who uses the word foil in place of the word sticker. Look at you.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a stretch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like if it said foil, like I'm gonna like if I got it, I'd be like, why isn't this foil covered?
Why isn't this foil?
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, they should just call it shiny. They put a shiny on it. Good morning, Flash Ray. How are you today? So you said you're up and up on the Marvel shows, Brian. Trav, have you watched Loki episode 4 yet?
Yes, I did. Me and Big Herm Collectibles do a review show every Sunday, so I'm always caught up on Loki.
What'd y'all think?
I thought it was a solid first episode, and then it just slowly got worse from there.
What about this latest episode? How do you feel about number 4 specifically?
It actually started going back up a little bit for me, but it's kind of everything we've kind of expected. I expected that they were going to be electrical, like something's in the background in that. And everybody thinks it's Kang, but I believe, and some others believe, that it's another Loki. That Loki is the villain of this story.
That's a good point. That'd be a good way for Marvel to not commit to doing something big with another TV show and just kind of keeping it isolated in itself. I didn't think about that.
Because if you notice with Marvel TV shows, that in episode 4 is when they reveal the big villain. So we've already met the villain of this story.
I was thinking if it wasn't going to be Kang, it's just going to be that girl, that variant that's running her own TVA somehow. Like that she just kind of branched off, and I don't know her name, but the girl that Enchantress was fighting and said, I'm not going to kill you, you're going to explain everything to me.
Oh, yeah, who was like the leader of the TVA, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like
I don't remember her name, but yeah.
She's the
biggest. This episode it was like the last 5 minutes were really, a lot of action. And then, if you didn't watch the credits, you didn't watch the credit scene, I think you would have really been disappointed.
Yeah, that was me.
Well, yeah, luckily, usually I haven't been sticking around to the credits or I just fast forward through. But for some reason, this week I was like, let me just see if anything pops up. And then because it was such a, kind of weird ending with, all the, people dying. And then the fact that, I'm like, let me stick around. And luckily I did. And I saw the credit scene, or else I would have had to gone back, after the fact.
All right. Well, I got to go.
All right, it was nice talking to you guys. I got to go too.
Yep.
Ryan's here.
Yep.
Makes sense. Apparently, I
enjoyed
IT rail shows.
All right, see, we got another guy with a bed in the background. See,
That's what I said. You guys are going to get along great.
The original guy with the bed in the background. That's what Chip was talking about when he said, "I can get along with Ryan." Ryan,
see, I'm in my spare bedroom, so yeah.
Ryan's actually
who's this guy stealing my shtick and taking part of my name? I got to get on here now.
Ryan is actually not even at home. He's filming live from Rooms to Go.
That's right. I do an Airbnb, and I set up. So,
but yeah, I enjoyed the big twist. I enjoyed how quick they killed off Owen Wilson's character in this episode. How they just hit you with it. I thought it was awesome killing Loki. Like I didn't expect it to happen until he was face to face with Enchantress, and they were dragging that scene out because I felt the pacing just get hit right in the gut. I'm like, something's happening here. There it is. And I was telling them as soon as it happened, my gear started turning. Like, how much do I care for this Enchantress character? Can she carry a show? Like, what can she do next? Is this going to be? It's called Loki. It doesn't have to be Tom Hiddleston's show. It can be her show. This could have just been an Enchantress origin show, but. The after credits, is fascinating as it is, and I'm sure it'll be fun in some way, hopefully moving forward. I was like, no, they backpedaled. They got cold feet. Like, if you're going to kill him, kill him. If you're going to kill him, kill him. Don't give us the answer that quick.
How many times has Loki been killed, right?
Well, he made that point. That's why I'm like, we don't need this one. Even if you killed this one permanently, we don't need him because we're establishing the show that there's countless Lokis.
Right.
That could have just been a good hit to the gut for the Enchantress character, just to be like a driving, like a little motive there. You know what I mean? That could have been her Phil Coulson. But
it does raise the question, like, when people get like deleted, are they actually getting deleted, or are they all over this world?
So, right, they go somewhere else, right? So that opens, Morbius being back, and any of the characters that have been, over the, do they get sent to somewhere else that, we don't know.
No, they're pretty good. Flash Ray. We'll see how this one plays out, but they're notoriously good at wherever the MCU is at the beginning of episode 1. You watch an entire TV show just to come right back to that part you left at. Like they're good at telling a divergent story and coming right back. Like you can put like a little checkpoint on where and what all the characters are doing and are at the beginning of the show, and they're right there at the end of the show. Like Sam Wilson has Cap's shield, and he's supposed to carry the mantle at the beginning of Falcon and Winter Soldier. Enter the TV show of him getting rid of the shield twice. It's like he touched it, he just had to get rid of it. And by the end of it, Sam Wilson has a shield and he's carrying on the mantle. Right. Agent 13 is in proper standing in America and working for S.H.I.E.L.D. at the beginning of it, or the last we left her. But then they introduced the concept. She's been on the run because she's the only person that didn't blip back and go back to life like normal, and she's wanted fugitive when everyone else has been pardoned except her. But then by the end of it, she's right where you assumed she was last time you saw her. And it's the same thing with all of them. It's for the most part. There's small little additions like Vision coming back and White Vision, which you could have simply introed in 1,000 different ways and stuff like that. But we'll see what this.
They're introducing some new characters, like Monica Rambeau is introduced in WandaVision. Then in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, we got like Eli and a bunch of other people. Zemo came back, so we got the reintroduction of him. And
you have a lot of people that you don't necessarily need an intro to that can just walk on screen and it makes no difference.
Yeah, but it's probably a way to keep it interesting. Keep so that it's, to me, the series, the Disney Plus just seemed like a little it's like the appetizer, right? And then the movie's
yeah.
going to be the main course. So they want to keep you interested enough to keep the subscription and introduce enough new things. But like you said, the beginning and the end's the same, so that they can now get it in the movie. So
yeah, I did enjoy Monica Rambeau's story, like where, like in a movie, you wouldn't necessarily like, why are we doing this? Kind of like the Miss Marvel that they're going to be doing, like, why are we doing this? There's so many like bigger, more fascinating characters out there, but they did good with Monica, rolling her out the way they did, I think. But I still don't really care about Miss Elastic Marvel. I don't know why. She just seems like, I don't know. There's a lot of Captain Marvels about to be happening. I guess they figured that the first one people didn't really care for, so maybe if they put more Captain Marvels in it, people will like land on one of them maybe. But we're about to have 3 of them. 3 Captain Marvels in the MCU.
Yeah. To me, it seems more like a test bed. Like, we've got to do something different here because Captain Marvel was poorly received, and we don't really know exactly what direction we need to go at this point. So we're just going to kind of throw everything at you and see which one sticks.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I think that's one thing that like Disney is, or I guess like Marvel Disney as a corporation has done better than a lot of other like media corporations out there. Like, they actually seem to listen to the internet and like what people are saying versus like how many dollars did we make off of it. So hopefully we see a little reflection of that in the Marvels, where people say like, oh, we really liked Monica Rambeau, but get that other girl out of here, and maybe they'll actually go that route instead of just being like, well, we made $300 bazillion off of the Marvel, so let's just keep making movies that have 3 main characters,
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see how Black Widow does, right? We've been waiting for that for forever. And, there's been a bit of a gap in the movie, side. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm sure it'll make, $400 billion, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I'm pumped for it. I don't know why that latest trailer they dropped out a little bit of extra footage and you see Taskmaster. I think that's just the most interesting part. That there's that one little half-second clip. I don't even remember who he was fighting. It was a Red Guardian or someone, but they both hit each other and they fall and both kick back up. Like, it looks like a mirror image where he's just mimicking them like in real time, like just picking up their fight skills and stuff. Like, man, this is going to be.
The trailer definitely. The trailers definitely look like it's action packed, lots of fights. So that the fact that we haven't had a movie like that in a while or been to the movies in a while, I think it'll do well.
Now, do y'all plan on going to see it on the big screen or just hitting it up on the Disney Plus app? I'm probably going to Disney Plus app it for the convenience sake, and going to the movies with 2 little kids and working as much as my wife and I do. There's already a very small window when we can even attempt to do something with the kids, and I'd rather sit here and just watch it with Finn, anyways.
Were they releasing it at the same time on Disney Plus for like a premium? I didn't think they were.
They're going to release it on the Disney Plus app for the, not for the subscribers, but if you want to pay for it.
Right. Yeah. There's an additional fee, right? Yeah.
Same thing they did with Cruella.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Raya, the Last Dragon, and they did Mulan like that, but Mulan didn't hit theaters at all, I believe.
And they just announced another one too. I forget what it is, but whatever their next big movie is supposed to be, it's also going to be on Premiere Access. Same
day. Kind of, make Mulan, but you don't include, Mushu the dragon, then I'm not watching.
The best part, and the music.
Yeah. Yeah. That's another aspect of people so hungry to go see a movie, and this is like the first like big movie that's going to be hitting in a long time now. Yeah, it's already sold out for like 2 weeks where DJ's at.
Ironically, I think they kind of got lucky on all of this, because I think if it had released on time, I don't think that many people were going to necessarily shell out the dollars for it. But now that it's been so long and people are just desperate to get to a movie, I think it's going to make more than it would have if it had released, at the beginning of the pandemic when it was supposed to.
And I wonder how much of this is like theater precautions also kind of I can't imagine even
cutting
now
down on capacity.
Like you might be just running at half capacity, Like,
I'm sure.
Every other
That's so impressive, even if it is half.
Yeah, because that means if it's at half capacity, that means it's sold out for 1 week where he's at.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, my thing with that movie, like, I've never really been desperate for it. Like I think Disney really screwed the pooch on that one. They should have had Black Widow out front a long time ago. But I think what's interesting, like that's the part of the MCU I actually like is like the Captain America stuff. I love the action and the way that plays for those types of characters versus like all the flying Superman hitting stuff. So. For me, like I'm kind of excited to watch Black Widow because I hope it gets more to like that kinetic action that you get out of those types of characters. But as a movie on the whole, I just don't think it's gonna do anything for like continuity's sake. It's probably gonna feel like some of these TV shows.
Yeah, it's even set in the past, so it's not gonna try anything move the needle forward.
It's introducing a new Black Widow, isn't it? Like she'll play.
That's kind of what we assume.
Yeah, she'll play a key part in like future movies, like going forth, and then hopefully we'll see more of Taskmaster.
Yeah, if Taskmaster hits the way that I hope he does, then yeah, that'll be cool. Or she, that'll be cool to see. Come into the MCU proper and stuff, and like have that kind of action back on screen because I love the way Captain America fights. It's great. It just films well. It looks really good on screen.
That's why I'm pumped for Taskmaster because like he should bring like a lot of action-packed close-up fight scenes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you look at the trailers. I mean, it looks like it's amazing action, and like I said, it's more hand-to-hand type combat fighting. No major superpowers. So I think I think people are going to be just into it because we haven't had that type of movie in a while, and we haven't been to the movies in a while. So. But yeah, we were talking about going to see it. My wife actually watches all of the movies, all the MCU stuff, all of the Disney Plus. But we mentioned because my daughter's a big MCU fan, and we talked about maybe going to the theater. My wife was like, "No, I want no part of a theater right now." I'm like, "Okay," but I didn't realize they were doing the premiere access on Disney Plus, so that might be an option for us.
Yeah. And dude, in all honesty, like going to a theater, all it adds is the bigger screen and the louder sound. It's hard to beat the picture quality that you're going to get from a large format 4K TV, and we got the nice sound set up here and everything. It's just the experience of going to the theater and sitting in a room without any other distractions or anything. It's more immersive.
Right? Yeah. If you're sitting in your living room or TV room, you're more likely. Pause it and get up to use the bathroom or whatever. When you're in the theater, you're kind of locked in, right? I don't ever recall leaving or getting up from once I sat down to watch a movie. But at home, you're like, so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it just like absorbs all the distractions, Like if you're at home, your phone's probably going off. If you have kids, they're going to be distracting and stuff. When you go to a theater, you kind of create an experience out of it that kind of isolates you from a lot of that stuff.
Right. Yeah, and the fact that
at least I hope there's nobody in here that's a piece of crap that talks on their phone in a movie theater.
Only if someone calls or texts me.
Yeah, exactly. You got to take it.
Yeah.
Sounds like my dad. Hello? Yeah, I'm in a movie. I'll call you back.
Oh yeah, no, I'm seeing starts telling the plot line of the movie. Oh yeah, we're at the point right now where
oh no, I'm free. What's up?
Yeah, I already seen this movie and I'm free.
Midway through the movie, spoiling the end. Oh yeah, I already know. He already dies at the end. Don't worry about it. I can talk all I want.
Well, you guys all need to see The Long Halloween. I know we can't talk about it because I'm the only one that saw it, but you guys need to watch it.
Oh, we could talk about it. We just won't know shit about it.
It's probably my favorite animated one. Batman since Dark Knight Returns.
I mean, that's solid from like 2 people, so I don't know. Like, I haven't heard a huge sampling of it, though. It doesn't seem like a lot of people have seen it yet.
So far, I think it's better than the graphic novel.
Dude, get out of here.
I think it serves it really well. I loved it. I maybe I need to read it again, but like when I read it, I loved it. But I just think it's laying it out. Like all the extended scenes are the scenes that needed to be extended, like the action scenes. And I don't know. It's just done really well. I love the sound in it. The sound is like really impressive for an animated movie.
Long Halloween, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, part 1.
I can like I'm definitely looking forward to it, and I'm glad to hear that because I was afraid they were going to do something like they did with Hush, where Hush was like easily one of the better Batman stories, like just standalone together that's been written ever. It was fantastic, but they ruined the movie, like absolutely ruined the movie.
Yeah, I didn't like the movie.
They changed like key elements that made the story what it was. But Long Halloween is another one. There's like epic, iconic Batman story. That's like I'll forget how many issues. It's like 14 issues or something. It's like I think
it's 13.
Yeah, but
I think you're going to be really impressed, Mark. I'm excited to see what you think.
You can Flash Ray. You can either go get it from any store like Target, or you can just watch it digitally on any digital platform.
YouTube, Voodoo.
Get on YouTube and just type in Batman: The Long Halloween, and when it pops up, hit purchase. Yeah. Or you go to Voodoo and rent it. Yeah, there's a lot of digital platforms depending on where you're at.
But it's not available on like streaming platforms yet, like HBO Max.
Oh yeah. They got to get some sales in first before they just everybody.
I was gonna say streaming platforms, but that would like Voodoo, you're still streaming even if you buy it. So, but yeah, it's only available for like purchase, and I don't even know if it's available for rent yet. Some of those movies don't start out as rentals.
You normally get a week or two of purchases before
purchase only, and then it'll come to rent. And
I can look it up right now to make it easy.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
I could look it up, but
it's $20. I know that.
Yeah. No, yeah. See, it's not on HBO Max yet. I'm sure it'll be there probably like in 6 months or something. I don't know what their lead time is on that. I don't think they've really set a standard for it yet, have they?
I don't think so.
Not that I know of.
Yeah, I would imagine it's probably going to be 6 months and they'll be on HBO Max. But yeah, you could probably Redbox it too. That's a good point. I forget that exists.
Yeah.
What's a Redbox?
Do you not know?
Is that a Canadian thing, Trav?
Go rent it in front of your local Walgreens.
Yeah.
I don't know what a Redbox is.
We have Eckerd's.
Really? Redbox is
still have Eckerd's? Because I grew up on Eckerd's, but no, they do not exist anymore.
Walgreens bought out all the Eckerd's around here.
Redbox is like a Blockbuster, but it's the size of like
just a kiosk.
It's like a desk.
It's a red
in front of like a Kroger. Yeah, Redbox.
And pretty sure I thought CVS was the one that bought Eckerd's. But yeah, I grew up on Eckerd's.
Yeah, Redbox is like a vending machine for movies, right?
Pretty much, yeah. And you go and you swipe your card, and then they give you a little thing, and they kind of help put Blockbuster out of business.
About the size of a fridge, yeah. Oh yeah, the video games for Redbox are big because video games are expensive. So
yeah,
great way to do a video game.
I didn't realize they did video games now.
Oh yeah, that's kind of what's kept them around. Because honestly, I think their pure like DVD or Blu-ray business probably wouldn't be enough to support them at this point.
Yeah, it's true. Too many streaming options, right?
I can't believe they're still around.
But Redbox also has an app, and they do like streaming and stuff on it. Like it's a service just like any of the other ones. It's just I don't think that side of it's as popular as their actual physical red boxes.
Well, I think the problem is there's so many individual deals now for content with all the different streaming services. They probably don't have a lot of content to offer up.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of deals they have in place. So, red boxes to Blockbuster like OJ is to Nicole.
We'll just
you guys ever watch the movies that made us on Netflix?
Oh God, yes, so good.
They're coming out with the second part of that July 23rd, and it's Jurassic Park, Back to the Future, Pretty Woman, and Forrest Gump.
Awesome. Yeah, that is like one of my favorite series. I wish they do more than 4. I wish they do like a 15 a season. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I love Dirty Dancing too, so I watched that one like 5 times.
I'm pumped for the Back to the Future one. I really enjoy Back to the Future. I also watched The Toys That Made Us when they had that on there as well.
Oh yeah, that's the one that got me into the movies that made us, because obviously Toys That Made Us, that was amazing. Have you watched that, Ryan?
The Toys That Made Us?
Either one.
I've seen the Power Ranger and the Ninja Turtle episode of The Toys That Made Us. That's about it.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that they did a sequel series or anything like that. So
It's even better, I think. Well, maybe not better. It's the same. It's just amazing.
Yeah, they also did like a special one. They'll probably do it again next Christmas, but they did like the Christmas movies that made us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. Was Star Wars on that list?
No.
No. I forget. I know Home Alone was one of them. Home Alone, Elf.
No, Die Hard was on the movies that made us, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to say there was one more Christmas one.
I think Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, was it? Yeah, that might have been it. Why is that funny, Ryan?
It wasn't, but the chat's pretty good.
Yeah, you need to watch it, Miss for sure. It's so good.
I'm terrible.
I watched all of them. Like, I even watched the Barbie one. I was like, yeah, I might as well.
Oh yeah, I watched them all. It's really interesting to see like just progression over time, and like most of the companies, the toy companies, like fell apart and had to be built back up, and you would never think of something like Barbie or just these huge iconic things that just fell apart. And then all of a sudden, like, here they are today. Everyone would know them by name in the whole world, basically.
Yeah. There's a lot of those stories in that world. Like Etch-a-Sketch. That was on the that was about to go out of business, and then Toy Story came out, and suddenly they started moving like millions of units of Etch-a-Sketch overnight.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, they played a big part in Elf,
I
too.
do remember being a kid. I do remember being a kid and wanting to like get an Etch-a-Sketch after watching Toy Story. Like, I want that now. Like, so I was the problem.
Yeah, I had a few of those. I loved Etch-a-Sketch. God, I haven't seen one since I was a kid.
I'm sure it was DJ Links, but honestly, I have no clue what their story is. But yeah, I mean, like toys and stuff, they usually have really interesting stories, especially like some of the biggest things, like the fads and stuff that you remember, like those usually have the most interesting stories because it's almost always a company that was about to just like shut the doors, and then something weird in pop culture happened, and like suddenly they come back like that.
Aggressively said that the Toys That Made Us got Eastman and Laird back together. And that's how we have The Last Ronin.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that.
Is it a Netflix series? That's one that's not on my radar. Netflix? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Check that out.
Need to be
I was
top
talking
of your
to
list.
somebody about that recently, just about toys, and like I remember, having all the Mego figures, the large Mego figures, but then the whole Kenner Star Wars line came out, and they were all the smaller, action figures. So I was wondering if that was kind of like the transition for the industry, the toy industry, like in the late 70s, that they moved to the smaller, the smaller form figures.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I remember basically from that point going forward, it was all the, the smaller action figures.
I don't know. Do you guys?
I think I'm going to drop. I'm going to go. I actually going to go run to my LCS and pick up my books for this week. So I appreciate you guys having me on and talking a little bit about the, the Comic Book Community Award. So
yeah, real quick.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear about it.
Shout out real quick. We got 14 people in right now that might not be the same people. If you want to plug that real fast.
Yeah, so I'm going to kick off actually nominations this Saturday. It's cbcawards.org. is where you can do all of the nomination. I have Instagram as well. Everything's on the website. I'm actually looking for volunteers, some community members to be on a committee to help with the voting process. But basically, you're going to have 10 different categories to nominate our favorite, YouTube or Instagram creators in the comic book space. Like what we're doing here. This show could be, the Friday morning show could be, nominated for like best series. There's going to be best new channel, lifetime achievement award, a bunch of 10 different categories that we're looking for the community to vote on, and we're going to give out some awards and some prizes. The actual live stream show is going to be in December. I just kind of kicked it off and need some time to get all the votes in and get the finalists up and voting for all that. So it just takes a little time. So December 5th, it will be the actual award show. And like I said, I already actually have a sponsor. Cover Price is one of the sponsors for the awards. So I'm looking for other sponsors as well. But we're going to, like I said, going to give a trophy and a prize away to, all of the 10 winners. So when I drop out, I'll drop a link to the website as well. So everybody, if you guys can check it out, I actually did a live stream on Wednesday to kind of go over the overview of the whole awards. So, but all the information's on the website as well.
Are you able to put a comment in the chat right now? Not the link, but just any comment in the chat right now. You need to drop a comment in there for me so I can mod you. So when you put a link, it actually links it and doesn't just put random.
I can put it in I got just a private chat up. I can't, right?
No, I found you. I had to do it on YouTube. I scrolled back and didn't know if it'd go that far back. All right, so yeah, I added you as a moderator. So when you actually drop a link, it'll come up as a blue link now.
Okay. All right, great.
Yeah, it'll be clickable.
And that's his IG in the chat. So
his IG is
follow his IG.
Yeah, it's pinned.
All right, good. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I think, thanks for letting me jump on and talk about it. Great hanging out with you guys.
See you soon, man.
See you later.
See you, man.
Bye.
I was on stage the other day and I seen that layout that he had for nominations. I think Gary B, the casual comic guy, was there for best community member, and he had it laid out pretty well.
Very cool for him.
Thanks, Tyler. Thanks.
You're not
see how it is. The hell.
I'm voting
instantly. Didn't even consider me. What the F? Jeez.
I'm voting for Justin.
Going back to the toys that made us, which is more appropriate than ever now that Justin's here.
Oh, hey, Justin. How you doing?
Executive producer, right?
Amazing. Watching Eastman and Laird come face to face again after all those years, and man, that about broke me when they were walking through their old, looking at all the shelves with all their old stuff on it and everything. That was crazy to see. It was awesome. What did you think of it, Justin? I saw that big smile and nod a second ago.
I've enjoyed every episode that they've done. I haven't watched all of it. I don't think I've seen. There's 3 seasons, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Is there 3? Oh my god.
I think there's 3.
I don't think I've seen any of season 3, but I've seen all of 1 and 2.
So 12 episodes?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
I'm looking right now because I thought there was only 2. Oh my god, I don't know if I've seen season 3 yet.
They did one with wrestling and that. And I think that the wrestling one was
2.
Was it 2? Okay,
there
I could be
3.
wrong.
Because I watched that one. Because that's where
Tyler's about to just leave.
The 10-inch hard plastic figures and stuff, and I remember having those as a kid.
I've watched it. Season 3 is the TMNT, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, My Little Pony, and professional wrestling.
That's season 3 with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers?
I thought that was season 1.
Oh, yeah, I thought it was season 1. That was
existed before that?
No, season 1 is Transformers.
Season 1 is Star Wars, Barbie, He-Man, G.I. Joe, according to this.
Oh, Transformers is season 2. My bad.
Oh, they're that
season
short.
2
okay. How much is
Star Trek, Transformers, Lego, and Hello Kitty.
Yeah. See, I remember the My Little Pony one and how they touched on the weird movie that came out. So I think I probably just started playing it and just let it play through and didn't realize I was watching multiple seasons. That's pretty cool. What is up? Big Nosh is back in the building. Appreciate you popping in and out. Speaking of He-Man, guys, He-Man Revelations is coming, and Dark Horse is doing a He-Man Revelation comics. Now, let's add another layer to this. Alex Ross is doing an exclusive wraparound cover that can only be purchased from his website. But right now, he has a just plug your email into the thing, and you're entered to win a signed copy for free. So he's giving away an issue number 1 Alex Ross signed wraparound copy of that.
I wonder if the book's going to be any good.
Who cares? That's a cover buy thing. That's just getting a piece of art. And if you have those clear backer boards,
I'm buying the comics.
you know, if you want to get that number 1, I'm going to hunt down an Alex Ross copy because, I'm not sure. I kind of included it in the video that drops tomorrow. I talk about it. But I don't know if the comic is going to be like a book version of the show or if it's supposed to be a prequel or what. But it tells you that Teela is about to be taking over the mantle of He-Man and stuff.
Yeah, it comes out before the show too, because like it comes out this Wednesday coming up.
Yeah.
John.
Yeah, there's some awesome covers for it. There really are, but none of them even come close to that Alex Ross cover. I love how he does Skeletor. Like he's got his whole body, but his face looks like it's illuminated in this greenish yellow light. You know, he's just fantastic.
I'll have to check that out.
You should. Let me see if I still have it in my studio here. I might, from where I made the video. What do you know I do? There it is.
That looks familiar.
It is. It's an existing image of his. It's just going to be put on a comic for the first time.
Oh.
That's awesome.
And there's just a regular cover A. Still an amazing cover, too.
That's the one I pre-ordered. A lot of people are going with the Mike Mignola.
Yes, the Mignola was
fans.
wicked. Yeah, the Mignola was absolutely wicked. No, there's nothing wrong with buying all of them.
Buy them all.
Mm-hmm.
I bought every cover for Spawn 319.
How many covers was that?
I didn't get the incentive like the black. There's just the sketch one of Kygor, but I got all 3, A, B, and C.
Yeah.
So they're all card stock and they're better quality too. So I was like, can't go wrong with that. Like, station to Todd McFarlane for like keeping the prices at the same. And also, I was looking ahead a little bit and I seen King Spawn is going to be at that $299 price point.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
I like how his oversized big event anthology, annual, whatever you want to call it, he did for Spawn's Universe is at the massive whopping price of one DC comic book. It was like $5.99 for what would be like a $9.99 book. Like this $9.99 book, like same amount of content pretty much. He does a great job keeping those prices down. I wonder how much he's actually bankrolling that to happen, or if he just that's not where he's trying to make his money. Like he has.
I don't think he's making any money off of them because he like how could he like maybe off of the comics that he like sells that it's his covers and that, but like keeping it at $2.99 and having other people working on his comics like he must.
Well, you also have to remember the structure is much different. Like you consider like DC, the amount of people they pay for a book to come out is much different than the streamlined setup that Todd McFarlane has over there for Spawn, you know?
Well, I know he says that was it Image pressured him for a while to raise the price, and he said that there was no reason for him to, that he would basically be getting all that profit. Like they wouldn't even see any more of the profit. It'd be all him, and he was like, I don't need the money. Like, why would I raise the price for my fans that have been supporting me since this came out in the 90s?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I don't know who else read. I know, Tyler, you said you started to read Spawn's Universe. I don't know if you trucked through and finished it, but it was good.
I haven't finished it, but I heard you guys talk about it.
You should definitely finish it. It like the first third of it is just what would be issue 319. It's not like They didn't take this time to make this event book just to stand on its own. It's literally the direct continuation of what's been going on. And then it kind of starts adding those flares that you would expect in this book to kind of point you in the direction, soft reintroductions to a couple of people, as well as the gunslinger's origin, like his half origin, which was really cool. Like you just see what happened to him to make him, and it was gruesome. It was gruesome.
Yeah, I heard you talk about that. That sounded really cool.
I can't wait to read that. I should get it by next week, along
I'm
with
glad I didn't
319.
Yeah.
So, I heard 319 is like a good jumping on point for new people too. Like it's a whole new story and new arc and that. Like people can just jump on and go.
Oh, cool.
You're gonna need to do a little bit of back studying, just a little bit, not much. Just know that the events of Spawn 300 and 301 is what we're still dealing with. Like, long story short, portal opened, bunch of stuff's coming through. Portal's been closed, but now like where we're at now is just trying to tie up the loose ends of what came through that portal. There's a lot of different spawns from different eras and places, a lot of demons and stuff. It kind of just it fuels our villains moving forward. And then one of the main running Spawn characters is they're kind of playing up and giving him a little bit of extra backstory. He's really, really an actual villain, and they touch on that in Spawn's universe. That's really a good jumping on point, I guess. But it's going to be a little bit confusing, but it's not going to be hard to catch up.
I like how they're bringing back Kygor, and that like he was featured on the cover. He's that ape.
Kygor, the gorilla.
Yeah. Because like I just finished. Like I do a review video. We just finished it up. We'll have one episode left. We finished reading the Spawn Compendium, all 50 issues, and that. He was introduced there, and I fell in love with him from there. I think he's a really interesting character.
Yeah,
and I guess he went away for a while, and now he's coming back. So
yeah, Spawn goes and fetches him. Like he pops up here and there, but Spawn fetches him in Spawn's universe. He needs he's a mercenary at heart. He needs a human shield. What better than a big gorilla? He's a savage.
But I always like those type of characters. Like Gorilla Grodd is like one of my favorites. So like,
how do you feel about Gorilla Greg?
Not that guy.
He hasn't had his time to shine yet. He'll get there.
Yeah, he's such a background character so far.
Honest
Most likely to succeed though.
What's with the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man on an operating table behind you?
So I think I've showed this off before, but I like to put all of my con badges around him after I get back from a show. And I went to a convention like a month ago, and I was going to record like a haul video. I just haven't gotten around to doing it yet.
I see that you posted a 40-pound toy unboxing yesterday or something. I got the notification. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
How big was it? It was either
it was 60.
60, I think maybe.
Yeah, I watched it.
I originally recorded that in February. I just finally sent it to Nick earlier.
Well, it was a good video.
Yep.
Well, thank you.
That's evergreen.
Yeah, I recorded that on Super Bowl Sunday. Like at halftime, I was like, "This game sucks," so I went downstairs and was just, I'm gonna open this up.
That's funny. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what you got. I'm assuming it's probably a hot toy or a NECA.
Yeah, the first video, I know the hot toys are in the second video because it's like a 2-part video because it was so. I thought it was long, but when Nick edited it, it brought it down to like 10 minutes because I must have spent a good 20 just opening stuff or like cursing about something or other. Multiple takes.
How bad the game was.
I get to see Nick just every time you'd cuss.
Well, what's funny is that like every time I mess up, like Nick will like screenshot it, send it to me, and just laugh at me.
Wow.
And if you think that's bad, you should see what he does to Dustin. Like what he does to me is tame compared to like how much he just rags on Dustin.
No doubt.
Wow, that's shocking.
Wow.
Oh, sorry. I'm like,
and then you have Whack Comics that raises him on the pedestal, buys posters of him, makes love to said posters.
They're at Target now.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Target, we're classy.
Is that an exclusive? Is that what that is?
We're hoping a Justin one comes out soon. We'll see.
On one hand, I look forward to that, and on the other, I'm slightly scared. But that's
don't do it.
Wait, scared isn't the right word.
Justin, thank you so much.
Concerned.
Tyler, don't do it.
Guys, I'm gonna head out. Thanks, Legion, for inviting me, and Station, everybody. It's nice meeting you guys for the first time, and it was great being here for the first time. It's my first time on your stream there, Legion.
Yeah, I felt.
Oh yeah, man. Really we'll see you again soon, Travis.
Having me some Trav.
Yeah, well, you needed one Canadian on this stream. You didn't have the comic vet, so.
Yeah.
We're not sure what time zone he's in. He'll be here eventually.
Quotas.
All right, guys. Station, everyone in the chat.
All right, take it easy.
See ya.
What are you working on right now, Justin?
I can't say.
Awesome.
Do you like it?
That's
a
weird title, but
good?
I'll be looking forward to it.
Yes, I do like it.
Nice. I guess it'd be bad if you said no, not at all.
Like
I will admit to things like that. Like if I'm working on something and I don't like it, I'll tell you that the book is crap.
Yeah, but I just didn't know if you do it now live.
How do you find yourself working on books that you don't think are that great or that you don't personally like?
I think maybe it's not that I don't like it. Maybe it's just that I don't like the way that something is laid out. Like, there's a scene.
You don't like the technical side of it?
Yeah,
if they don't think of him when they're drawing this book.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's got to be the worst.
There's a scene from an episode of The Simpsons where Agnes Skinner goes to the grocery store and she buys all of these groceries and she looks at the bagger and she goes, I want it all in one bag and I don't want it to be heavy. And there's a lot of times where when I'm working on a page, that scene plays through my head where, we've got 6 pages worth of dialogue that needs to fit into one panel,
Yeah, that's crazy.
Chip.
Hi, how are you?
I like that you updated your Be Right Back thing to include some Snyder Cut-isms in there.
I had to for you. For your show only. Everyone else gets just a BRB standard.
That's a Legion of Comics exclusive right there.
I don't like it at all.
Well, then I'm going to play it right now just for you then, Tyler.
Boom. Bang.
You're too damn fancy, Chet.
I'm bourgeois or whatever the hell they bougie.
Yeah,
I think Chris from Cardboard Crazy's wife called me that.
Bougie?
Like, what? You don't even know me. I'm like, trust me, I'm not.
Chip's getting gangster. You don't know me like that.
I mean, no, it's fine, but it's not me at all.
Can't wait till you drop the single.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have to jump on In the Mix.
Yep.
Did you watch Loki episode 4, Justin, or are you behind on the shows?
I haven't even watched episode 3 yet.
Don't even bother. It sucks.
Hey, me too.
Have you watched episode 4, Chip?
I did, and it sucked.
You didn't like it?
Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
No,
I don't know if you're
all.
serious or not.
When am I not serious?
I have no clue.
No, I liked it.
That
If you were here
way too
earlier in the
sarcastic.
morning, you would have understood.
I was here. I couldn't tell then either.
Yeah, whatever.
He was trying to
Now
get
I
his-
know what it's like to be me all the time.
To be on the receiving end of you.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I've known my wife for 2 decades, and she says she doesn't understand when I'm kidding still. And I say good.
Good.
Keep your on the cone. Very cinematic. Hi, Miss Sal. Thank you. Wait, is she talking about me or the background?
I think she's talking
My
about
camera ready? Am my camera ready?
I think she's talking about your bouginess.
Oh, my
Yeah.
bourgeois. Yeah, my bouginess. Yeah.
Bourgeois.
Bourgeois,
Bourgeois.
bougie, whatever.
I'm excited about picking up some books today. I forget what. Just the Department of Truth. I think that and Spawn are the only two that I have to read at this point.
Yeah.
It's a light week. Justin, what does a light week look like for you? I know you picked up a fair amount of titles.
I couldn't tell you what a light week looks like.
Nice.
This had to be a light week for you.
No, there was a crap ton.
Oh
of
my
stuff.
god! It just felt like there was so much less that came out, even just in
Like
general.
I'm like a 12 to 15 book puller a week, and I think I had about 6 or 7 this week.
Did you guys pick up this one?
I did not.
No, it's pretty good. It's actually not bad.
I
didn't
the
even see that.
cover here.
I heard it's a really good Conan riff.
Yeah, it is. It's not bad. It's fun. It's got a funny an axe. When his weapon is an axe.
It's got an alcoholic axe.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
Where he's trying to be straight edge and his axe won't allow him or something.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was. I think it was this guy Adam at Top Dog Comics here that had read an early preview of it, and he said it was really good.
Is anyone watching High School Musical, the series?
Only everybody.
Well, in this last episode, they did a dance-off to the Mob song from Beauty and the Beast. And then at the end of the dance-off, they decided they didn't know who won. So they just did it, and there was no winner. That was a little disappointing.
There's a lot of elements to what you just said that I have no clue about.
I was gonna say,
Like what?
He says
this
the
reminds
mob
me
song-
of Teen Titans Academy whenever they focus on the youngest group.
What?
I'm
What
like,
do
I
you
can
mean,
read
the
these
Mob
words, but they
song?
mean nothing.
The mob song when like they're getting ready to go raid the castle and they're like, kill the beast, kill the beast.
If you just sing a couple more lines from it, I think.
Yeah. That didn't quite ring any bells, but I'm sure if you get a
Not
little
at all.
farther in.
I don't want to.
Nobody asked what you wanted, Tyler.
Yeah, exactly. It's not about you.
I'd have to do like the first lines because I don't know.
Well,
them.
go
It's
ahead.
like a really random song. Have you never seen Beauty and the
Is
Beast?
there such thing as a not random song in the Disney cartoon?
Yeah, all the good ones. This one's random.
Can you just sing one of the good ones for us then, so we know what a not random song sounds like?
I'm trying to look and see. I don't think there's a line you'll remember from the mob song because it's such a random song. Like the kids when they rolled that one, they had to pick a random song. They were all disappointed that it was the mob song because it's like one of the least favorite songs from Beauty and the Beast.
Why didn't they just re-roll and edited it out?
I don't know. They didn't want to cheat.
Okay.
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
sure I know what we're talking about anymore.
The mob song from Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, but what are we rolling? What is
Beauty and the
what is
Beast,
this random
High
rolling?
School Musical,
So
the
they,
musical, the
yeah,
series.
they randomly picked a song that they had to have the dance off to, and when
In a
they
show.
did it, and in the show, but the dance off was not.
Is
in
this
the
like a
show.
reality show, or I thought it was like a scripted thing?
It is scripted.
Look at Justin.
So,
It is. It's scripted,
I
but
can't tell if you're messing with him on purpose or not.
No,
who's messing with who?
this is honest, Ryan.
I really didn't know that there was a High School Musical series, and then I thought it would.
Yeah.
Whenever he said the title, I was like, "Oh, okay." So obviously this is a scripted thing, but he's describing it like it's a reality show.
It's
So
High
now I'm
School
really just
It's
Musical.
lost.
real to me.
The musical, the series.
Yeah,
What is going on right
but,
now?
I mean, it's not as good as season one because season one had all the great songs from High School Musical. But
I can't believe that there's more than one season.
well,
I can't
season
believe
one
there
was
is
so
no
good.
Beauty and the Beast TV show.
Well, first of all,
It was
season one
Ron,
was
Ron
good,
Perlman
and
played the Beast, and Sarah Connor played Beauty. It was actually cool. It was in the late '80s, the live action TV show.
Hmm.
and Olivia Rodrigo is like the main girl in High School the Musical, the series, whatever. And so she's famous now, and she has a bunch of her own songs now that are in season 2. So that's kind of riding out season 2 now too.
Is this on your watch list with The Bachelorette?
Yeah, Bachelorette's been fantastic. Katie's looking for love. You can already tell Katie's found love with a couple different guys. She kicked off a guy this past week because he came onto the show hoping that one day he would be the Bachelor, and she was mad because he wasn't there for the right reason. So she said, "Get the hell out." And then all the guys kind of like came together and like were very happy that he was gone. And another guy from last season came on. So this is like week 3. And he came on. So we have an additional guy that's been added 3 weeks in, despite not being there. So all the guys are mad about that.
When you said Katie's found love with a couple of guys, it just reminded me of my Nana. She would definitely call that woman a loose woman with a harlot.
Well, Katie is, what is it called? Pro-sex?
Oh, okay.
So sex positive. She's sex positive. So she is like having sex is good. Like basically, I think if you're sex positive, you just can't be called a hoe.
Okay, that's cool.
I don't really understand what it means.
You gotta own it.
It's kind of just like, yeah, you just own it. Like, I'll have sex and that's cool. Like, I don't care. I'm an adult. Which, I mean, that's cool. I don't.
What you're saying is she's just.
You are an adult. I think you can make your own decision.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sex positive, honestly.
How does Lisa feel about that?
Being sex positive?
About you being sex positive?
I don't think she knows.
You mean you don't have to disclose your status?
But
I thought you'd get a hat once you agree to it.
Yeah,
a sex positive hat. I'm sex positive.
Yeah,
that's the next sticker from Whack Comics.
I'm sex positive. Maybe that'll be my next dance with Justin on me.
Oh, good morning, Nick. How are you today?
A poster of Justin with his big hair and beard, and this says "I'm sex positive." The best part of Two Brothers Comics.
I can't wait to show that one to my wife.
I guess that's.
Get her
I
one
guess that's a good segue to say hello, Justin. Nice to be on the screen first time with you.
Hello.
Mr. Gettler. Look, and I had to make sure.
What's going on? How are you doing?
That I proved
At the
first.
Insure?
Yeah, I proved first that it's a protein shake.
Cheers.
How was your vacation, Nick?
It was good. It was good. Aside
The
from
only problem is
protein-
he's eating cottage cheese now.
No, this is Greek yogurt. Aside from the 13-hour drive each way, it was pretty good.
Ooh, yeah, that's a drive.
DJ hit a nail on the head. He said, I need an I'm sex positive music video collab with Biggie and Tyler.
Yeah.
Could you imagine
whether Biggie consents?
I would be down. I don't think Biggie would be down.
I don't think he would be down for you to make that video, Tyler.
I guess I don't need
to be
it.
the rapper and Tyler could be the singer.
I mean, you can do it. Just keep the gay stuff out of
it. That's true. He would tell me that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Say, don't do it, Tyler.
Don't do that with me. We're not gonna, Biggie, but don't do it. Oh my. Go back and count.
Man, High School Musical, The Bachelor, Loki, Breakfast Food, Sex Positivity. You are a diverse channel. That's actually in the description to the video. So yeah, we're actually just holding up our end of the bargain.
Yeah, I got
that. What we do.
Comics, film, and life. So that's it's a loose format or a sex positive format community hangout. It's not loose. It's just sex positive.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I like DJ Link's comment there. Just let Biggie record first by himself.
Yeah.
Then go in and ad lib his part or over his parts.
So is Joe working? I'm surprised Joe's not on.
He was up late last night. He was doing a fill-in show. Who knows? I think I've already sent him the link. I got to double check.
There was a sign that I saw in Florida that said Pompano Joe's. So I wonder if they were related. I
Probably.
didn't think they were, though.
How was Florida? Kind of a weird time to go down there, huh?
Actually, the weather was beautiful. You know, you come back here. I'm back here, and I opened the door this morning to let the dog out, and immediately, you know, the oven hits you in the face. And I'm like, oh, Jesus.
What is this?
Exactly. But it was good otherwise. It's still crowded, but beach water was nice. Hit the low to mid 90s. Vince McLean, my Texas homie right there. My other Texas homie.
Everybody lives in Texas.
Big state.
If you're talking to us, you're muted, Mark.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the highlight of my night last night, just getting the chance to actually
Why'd you guys tell him? What the hell?
talk.
Yeah, that doesn't.
I was on the fence.
I'm in a virtual meeting and kind of, sort of assuming. Asking. Florida. Good morning, Vincent McLean. I think he was.
I guess there are a lot of people from Texas here.
Pretty sure he's in Destin.
A lot of people from Texas here, as in Texas.
Yes.
There, but also like the internet, you know.
Yeah.
Probably most Texans have the internet.
You would think. Actually, you're surprised. It's mostly rural.
We do rural.
Parts are very rural. It depends on how far out you are.
They should talk to Chip about that. He can get him hooked up.
Yeah, Chip can get it.
Right.
Hey, so Lynx, we were in
Google balloons.
We were in Miramar Beach, which is right next to Destin. Hey, so somebody's birthday's coming up soon, huh?
No, not even close. I'm like months away.
Tyler, did you get that package?
No, I haven't got a package from you.
Okay, well, I didn't know if it made it to you yet.
Not yet. Hope maybe today.
Okay. Did you?
Maybe
check?
not.
You know, I
didn't check my back porch though.
Yeah, you should. And I just remember that I even sent you a package. I forgot when I sent it, but I feel like it was recently.
It was. I think it was earlier this week.
Yeah.
Now he's got commercials when he goes away. What is this?
Yeah, I know. Isn't it awful?
Be right back.
It's terrible. Kick him out.
I mean, that's really only useful here, right? It's not like he's leaving during his own videos or anything, right?
I think he does all the time. Last time we were on the thing on what was it, Saturday? Yeah, on Saturday, 8 to 10 or whatever. He was gone half the time talking to his wife. Like, what is this?
Dude, if you don't have to get up and leave at least for a second during a stream, it wasn't a proper stream.
No.
You're just not doing it right, man.
Dude, I even did it in a recorded video the other day. Like,
did you?
Variant video. I'm like, you know what? I forgot something in this room.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
He's like, let me go get this Spider-Man book. It shouldn't take long if it's where I think it is.
And it was.
It was. He came back.
Should have just not came back.
It was a 5-second at most step away, which I'm really not very impressed with myself. I'm sure I could have been away longer, but I was in and out.
Very disappointed I was that fast.
You know you're calling us, right?
I don't know what I'm doing. I always blast that chat for making calls.
Oh, Nick. Why'd you hang up?
What chat?
God. The tomorrow chat.
That is the most infamous chat for pocket dials.
That
is. Now 3 people are typing at once.
That's okay. Last night I sent Mark a link for a StreamYard, and then he called me on Instagram.
Yeah, pocket
I was
dog.
like, why didn't you just click that link? I was sitting here in front of the camera, like talking to him on the phone.
Mm-hmm. Good morning.
Waiting for him to jump in.
How are you today?
Dale.
Let's see. Vincent said, "Are y'all doing any comic hunting today?" Man, I'm probably just gonna go grab the couple of books from Wednesday that I haven't got yet out of my LCS and just grab some lunch and just try to relax and just not do much. I'm gonna try to keep my feet up today and get ready for the cold that's going to ensue the next 4 days straight.
Oh, so I went yesterday to that newer LCS by me, and look at what they had. I'm gonna see if I can.
Overpriced one?
Yeah, the overpriced one.
I'm not saying that in type of way. I mean, a lot of shops mark up, you know. So let me make you bigger so I could possibly see.
Yeah, I can't see that. It is
Amazing
Amazing Man.
Is that Houdini?
No, I don't know if that's Catman or what, but
It looks like Houdini almost, like the way that he's bound up like that.
yeah,
Can you see what the label says? The details on the label?
They sure did have something for bondage way back when.
I mean, every Wonder Woman book ever written in the Golden and Silver Age, pretty much.
First issue appearance of Amazing Man, Catman, Mighty Man, Iron Skull, Miniature Man, and Riddick.
You said bondage and Ryan left us. Look at that. Just like that.
Well, you gotta take a moment.
He said, not again. Not again.
So they had that one, and then they had this one.
Well, let me get Ryan back in here. I'm going to bring you back. Oh, the OG Daredevil. Nice. You know, Dynamite picked that character up. The original Daredevil with the boomerangs. Lee should know all about him.
No, I'm not
Red, half blue with the boomerangs. They kind of brought up the Project Superpower stuff and all that.
Mm-hmm. I have the first 2 issues of the who wrote that? I forget her name now. Gail Simone.
And of course, the politically correct, politically correctness of the time.
Mm-hmm.
What is?
What does it say?
It's
oh, I see it.
What? I can't see.
At the very top. Above
kind of turn it at an angle.
R-E-D, above the R-E-D in Daredevil.
R-E-D. What is it? It just says, oh, okay.
I mean, we could probably say that.
Is the glare in the picture or is it off of your phone?
Yes. It's probably a little bit of both.
You don't have to show racial. You don't have to go out of your way to be racist, Nick. It's cool. We got it.
Okay. I don't have to be overt. I don't have to be overtly racist. I can just. Okay, cool.
We prefer subtlety.
Just have that as your go away screen, like Chip does. Be right back.
Did you pick that up?
No.
What do they got on it? The price tag there?
9.6 for $2,500.
Oh my god.
The owner told me, he says he knows it was priced high, but he's in no rush to sell it. So
yeah, that's what he probably says on everything. He had, what was it, Hulk number 5? Like the
this was a different one though. But
yeah, a different one. So a couple of high price comic shops. Nice.
A couple of high price comic shops.
Look, that exact book, Hulk number 5, and it was in the same grade, like a 5.0 or something. At the one I was at, the dude was sitting at $500 cheaper and willing to haggle. So that's just how, just kind of waiting. Don't just jump on them. But that was exceptionally high at that shop. I'm like, dude, that's like you're like even your wiggle room is going to end you at above fair market value.
Yeah.
So everyone's pricing stuff with the expectation of the curve. Like the market curve is still on most stuff kind of trending upward. So they're pricing everything to predict the curve and not. I get a little bit above the curve, but throwing stuff $800 over FMV, like in the fair market average, that's a little excessive. That's a whole nother book. That's a whole nother blue chip book right there.
Yeah, sure is. So in response to Vince's question, Vince, this was the first 2 old school books were from the new place where we met, and the Harley Quinn was from our original store. I don't want to shout names though.
Why? But so I passed up on a Batman 45 this week at my LCS. I want to see it had around. It was like around $200, and I didn't want to spend $200 on it. And then he also had a Green Lantern 76, which is like a famous cover, Neil Adams. And I wanted to try to talk him down, and he wouldn't come down on either one, even for like combined, which sucks because I've only bought everything he's ever had. Like the first time I've ever brought up like coming down, he said no. Like, well, that sucks. So I didn't get him.
All right, I have one LCS that's like big on like new comic book day stuff, and he's got a lot of back issues, but they're more modern. Like my main LCS doesn't really buy and stock like older stuff, and then the other local comic shop has a lot of older stuff as well. And he's got a lot of wall books, and he's a good salesman. Like he's pretty solid on his prices, and he's pretty firm on them. But when I put a stack of books up and I said something about this, the best you can do, he says, really, you need, and then said something. I pointed out that every time we come in there, Finn clears the peg warmer transformers off a shelf for him and this and that. He's like, yeah, it's a valid point. And he gave me a really good discount on stuff. Just like good customers definitely deserve good discounts, in my opinion. Stuff like objective as collectibles, Like I just walked into a shop on a whim this week and bought a big boy book. Like people that do that kind of stuff, like on a whim, will drop big money on big books. It doesn't hurt to thank you every now and then. But as someone who like listens to customers harp about prices sometimes too, it doesn't hurt to not be haggled every time someone goes in there to buy something. I don't try that every time I'm doing something. Just every now and then, if something's legitimately, I feel like, I look at prices and stuff. I'm fairly aware of what I'm purchasing, and if I feel it's off base, I'll ask. But if it's inside the realm of obvious fair market, I'm not gonna give anybody a hard time or try to haggle it.
Yeah, so I've been going to this LCS for like I don't know how long, over 4 years, 5 years, and this is the first time I've ever asked to bring it down at all. He said no. I was like, dang it, just a little bit. But I bet those books will sit there forever because he puts them behind the counter so no one sees them. So they're going to sit there forever. So
why would he do that?
Because he doesn't put books out because he's afraid they'll get stolen, like big books, because apparently that's happened before. But since I've been going there, they've always been behind the counter. Like, even like when I was a kid.
Just on the shelf back there.
So they're in like literally a stack behind the counter. So you can only see like,
oh, that's terrible.
There's like 5 stacks and they're really high. So you can only see 5 books. So if the top book doesn't look interesting to me, I don't ask.
That don't make any sense.
Yeah, it's really.
You should put some shelves up behind his counter and just have them on the wall there.
Yep, that's exactly what he should do. But he's got a huge stack of books, and every time, like, they're different heights, but I don't know it's there because I don't want to ask either. And also, they're expensive ones, so I don't even really want to like look at them and be tempted.
Right? Then you're like, man, I want that.
Yeah,
I'm hearing what you're saying, and what I'm hearing is that this guy doesn't like to make money.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me.
Maybe that is. I don't really know. He's been around. He's had this LCS for over 40 years now.
Which, I mean, I don't either, but, I don't have a business, so big difference.
Steve, I'm upset you weren't more active in your chat last night.
I have to say, Steve, I went all out for you, and I was a little disappointed you showed up for 5 minutes.
I don't even think it was 5 minutes.
He doesn't care about the Burke fan.
True.
I think he got Winter to grab the phone and check in for him. He probably told her when he started drinking, I'm going to need you to check in this chat later for me. Just comment one time. That's all I need.
Well, that 1 beer a year really hit you, don't it?
Hey, Burke. When I was cutting this, I was looking at the sleeves and I was like, well, it's not Burke enough.
Should have cut nipple holes.
No, not yet. Not yet.
It'll keep them from chafing.
You're going to be pleasantly surprised with the chat. It was a very versatile conversation last night.
It was very diverse. We're about diversity here at Legion.
When you're sitting around the cosmic campfire just chatting about comics and life, who knows what topics come up?
Sometimes comics, sometimes life.
A lot of philosophy.
The delicate balance.
Yeah, I remember when I started watching Blasting and Stashing Comics on Friday night and listening to Joe start talking a little bit on philosophy. The first time I was there for it, I started going off in the comments, and it actually went on for a while. And then fast forward 2 weeks, Huey put him into a segment, so like it wouldn't just ramble through the show.
Hey, I'm gonna jump off, but I'll probably be back on in like 20 minutes. If you guys are still on in 20 minutes.
We're still here. We'll see you then.
Bye, Nick and Justin.
See you later, Rumi.
You already have the link, Steve.
I mean, I'd prefer if he got on before or after the shower, but if he's gonna stream from the shower, then bring it on, I guess.
It's not like he's setting a precedent.
Yeah.
We just need him and Remy.
Oh, speaking of which, it's not speaking of which. Ryan, send over your PayPal. I'll get that money to you.
Cool. You want me to just drop it in the chat over here? Or,
You can. You can. It might work better for you. I don't know how generous people are.
I was going to say, I deny all requests, but I accept any cents.
Yeah.
Yeah, our boy Papa was having a good time yesterday.
Sounds like it. That's the thing. Like, I have no clue because I'm in this lower tier Burt fam chat too. So
I was telling
it's
Ryan,
just like me and DJ Links carrying the load here.
Is it that he can't add any more people?
Well, he hit the max. Like the amount of family, the amount of channel members he has exceeds the amount you can have in one individual chat. So he made up the Discord so that everybody can exist all in one place. Where primarily at this point, it's like Ryan and Dave kind of like the most active on Discord, and a lot of people aren't really checking it and all that.
Yeah.
So now there's two actual Instagram chats. There's a family tier chat and then the other chat.
Okay.
But there was like a mutiny happening in the family tier chat last night. Everyone's like, we need to correct this ASAP. We're missing some long-standing key players. And Austin came up with a good idea.
You're not going to share it, or?
I told you what it was, like having a legacy chat all the same.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's a separate legacy chat for, the people that have all been together in the chat group forever. Not getting rid of the tiers or anything, but just having like the Burt Fam legacy chat. Because at this point, there's like a lot of people that talk every single day in the exact same group of people, and there's a slight fracture to that. Like, it's awesome getting more people to talk to, but there's still a dynamic missing. It's like your friends are out of town and you don't, it's like, where are they?
Yeah, there is a bit of snark missing with those two guys out. Kick out Chip, yeah, I agree.
Well, I mean, all he ever sends us is like these "Be Right Back" videos. So
they released the Ryan, Tyler, Lee, Dave cut.
Honestly, there he goes, right on cue.
And he doesn't even do the Snyder cut. Be right back. He got too much internet for his own good. Did you hit up any other comic shops while you were out of town?
You know, I went to one. One was called TBS Comics, and they had a Young Avengers sketch edition, which I was ready to buy, but it had a signature.
One?
Yeah, the Wizard World LA, I think it's called. But it had a signature at the bottom. Oh, and they wanted $500 for it.
Yeah, there's the kicker. With you being so close to CBCS, the signature at the bottom isn't an automatic disqualifier if you want to go that route.
Yeah, but for that price, what that book is going for, CGC wise, I wouldn't want CBCS. But the cool thing is, he had pretty much every single 3 3.25 inch GI Joe.
Nice.
He had it up in plexiglass and figures, and then he had on top of that every vehicle, including the USS Flag and the space station.
I watched the USS Flag incomplete, probably about 75% complete. Sell what was it for like $650 this past weekend at the con, the Augusta Toy. Look at Nick. I mean, look at Justin. He just popped up. The Joe Fest was this weekend in Augusta, the Augusta Toy and Comic Show, which is primarily a toy show. Like they lean heavily more into that. There's plenty of comic vendors there, but yeah, this guy came with the flag and used it as a setup table. And it's a 3-day con. It's like for a couple of hours in the evening time on Friday, then all day Saturday and Sunday. And it's sold Friday. So first thing Saturday morning, he's having to take his entire setup down and box up the flag and everything. And, you know, it was pretty funny. He was happy to have sold it. You know, the person that bought it already had an incomplete one. He was just buying it for the spare parts, and he was working at getting a complete one. I'm surprised you don't have one, Justin.
I don't really do GI Joe, so that's why. And I don't want to start that.
It would take up that whole wall behind you.
Yeah, like I'm trying to cut back on stuff so I have more space. Like I don't need to do that.
Yeah, it's just not enough revenue streams to be getting into new old stuff. But I think he did have some Star Wars stuff too, but just not as prevalent in your face as the other ones. So a couple other cool Knights of the Old Republic stuff. He had the first Darth Revan, but yeah. Meh. And the girl working there, I was like, can I see some books? She was just like, you know what, just go behind the counter. Just go ahead digging. She's like, it's too much to go back and forth, so just go ahead back there and pick out what you want.
It's like the opposite of Tyler's LCS.
Yeah.
How was the show last weekend overall? Good?
It was actually fantastic, man. It's getting bigger and bigger every year. I think this was only like the 3rd year since Ed, who puts it on, has been doing it. And it went from like the convention center at a nice hotel we have here, you know, like that size, to it was at like the brand new Augusta Convention Center that was built in the past couple of years. Like it's really large scale venue. Like beyond this, you'd have to go into like arena area territory, you know. And they had a lot of amazing vendors, especially if you're into toys and collectibles. There's tons of comic vendors there, and they're kind of working on the the bell and whistle appeal to it. You know, there's definitely some celebrities there. Like one of the Jason Voorhees was there. Like Sergeant Slaughter's always there. A couple Power Rangers were there. An actor who played one of the Ravengers and Guardians of the Galaxy was there. But they're working on bringing in more names like that at this point. Like you really don't need to add anything else to the vendor aspect of it. Just keep doing what you're doing and inviting more people as you go. Like it's on point. But it was a good time. I had a blast. I'll be putting out a video in the next week or two at most with some photos and walkthroughs and show-offs of what it was.
Do you go every year?
I didn't go last year because I had to work at last year it fell on Father's Day weekend, and unfortunately for me, I have to work pretty much every holiday, no matter what it is. And this week it was like the week after Father's Day, so it was perfect.
Oh man! So if it's on Father's Day weekend every year, does it compete with Heroes Con every year then?
It would technically be. I mean, it was like that last year. I don't know if they aim to be on Father's Day weekend every year. I mean, it's not a bad strategy to put a primarily male-dominated hobby on Father's Day weekend. You know, that's a good excuse for guys to be able to get there. But my goal next year is to make it to Heroes Con. You know, they didn't do it this year, but I'm gonna try to actually plan way ahead and hopefully have some things in order where I can actually pull off going to Heroes. I want me and my dad to go hit that one up.
Have you been to that one before?
Yeah.
It's definitely one of my, I'd say probably top 2 favorite shows of the year.
Yeah, it's definitely focused on the hobby, like the actual hobby, like the creators and stuff over like all the actors and stuff like that. Yeah, that's where I went and met Stan Lee and all kinds of great stuff. It was a good time.
Yeah, I really like Heroes Con, and I really like Baltimore.
I haven't been to Baltimore. That's far enough away that I wouldn't even attempt to go. Like C2E2, Baltimore. Like, in all sincerity, I would love to go, but just the logistics of doing anything like that right now, you know, or anytime kind of in the near future is just not even worth the trouble.
Yeah, I think so. I live like right in the perfect spot where everything's kind of like I'm centralized to everything.
Mm-hmm.
So Baltimore is only like a 5-hour drive, and Heroes, Charlotte's only like a 6.5 hour, 7-hour drive for me. But we, my wife and I, we always stop in Charlotte at Heroes on the way to the beach for our like week vacation.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So it's a nice like little pit stop.
Nice. I miss conventions. I live about 2 hours from C2E2, but still wary of crowds. I'm super into what LCS is doing. Just watch his launch video. And I think I have. He's still pinned in the description. LCS is doing a award show for the YouTube comic community. I don't know if it's limited to YouTube, but the comic community. So be sure to check out the link in that pinned comment. Yeah, I'm down here in the South, and as far as the crowds go, like I think there was like a 2-month weary period, but everything's just kind of been where I know every area is like vastly different with how things have been and how things are, but everything's kind of like super duper normal where I live.
Yeah, it was the same in Florida, and it's been the same here in North Texas too. It's been pretty normal.
Mm-hmm.
Here in like Houston proper, there's still like all the stores have changed everything to like you know, do what you do kind of thing, you know. But like if you leave the city, yeah, you wouldn't even know that anything had ever happened last year.
Mm-hmm. What's the next con you're hitting, Justin?
I'm going to Gem City Comic Con in Dayton, Ohio at the end of July. My wife and I, we just had our second child. She was born in March. And so like my wife understands that I have to go to conventions. Like she understands that I can't just stay at home. So I think the agreement that we've kind of worked out is maybe like one a month. So my July one is Dayton, Ohio. I'm pushing really hard for August to be Atlanta.
Oh, nice! You'll be right around the corner from me.
I'm trying. I don't know if it's gonna work.
Is that Dragon Con?
No, just straight Atlanta Comic Con.
Nice.
Look
Hey,
at
Steve.
that guy.
What up?
Where are you at? Like, not city, but where are you at? Like, there's a lot of wood behind you.
Okay,
B&B?
so
Rich mahogany.
Is that a Motel 6?
We spent Monday through Thursday in Branson, and then yesterday. What up, John?
I was like, I want to join him, and then Berkshire, and it's like, nah, I'm out of here, man.
And then yesterday we came and hung out with a friend who lives about an hour away. We stayed at his house last night. We got here at like 1 o'clock, and what do you think the first thing we started doing was?
Went to sleep.
Started drinking.
Watching sports.
He's a teacher on vacation. Ball. What do you expect?
Exactly. So I did get in the chat last night, Ryan. Yeah. Well, dude, actually, it's really cool. Check this out.
It does. Cool.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, John. How are you doing?
I was reading a ton of indies this morning. Ooh, that's nice. Awesome. Look at that old school Joker animated series statue. That's cool.
Yeah.
Gremlins. Nice. Predator.
So that's my friend's house for saying that.
Nice.
So yeah, I got into it last night, Ryan, and you guys were talking Teen Titans Academy, and I had not read it yet. Plus, I was super, feeling pukey. I cannot be here right now. I don't want to hear any spoilers, and I feel like I'm about to throw up, which I did not throw up. So
I thought he was going to say, which I did not hear any spoilers.
So I'm going to read it today or tomorrow, and we go back tomorrow. And so there's a 5-hour drive back, and so my wife and I take shifts on who's driving. So whenever I'm not driving, I'm definitely going to listen to it. So I appreciate you hosting it.
Well, thank you.
Sorry,
I went all out for it, man. You got to watch.
I will watch the whole thing.
Like, well, okay, there's a part where it devolves beyond Steve-ness. Like, I don't think you're going to watch the whole thing.
No, just hang in there. We keep bringing it back.
But there's a good section of it there, especially at the beginning, that I think you'll really enjoy.
Okay. All right.
What is up, Vincent?
How's it going, Billy?
What up, dude?
What's up?
Been missing out on my boys with the lives and stuff lately, but I'm here. I'm ready to do it.
I'll go camping with John before I feel comfortable going to a convention.
I want the comic community camping crew. That's what I want.
2 dudes, 1 sleeping bag.
It's more PG than you think.
It's really great. Oh, a lot of libraries holding mini cons. That'd be pretty cool.
I didn't know that.
That'd be awesome to get to. I remember going to the Augusta Comic Convention like in the 90s and stuff with my dad. Like before cons were like huge anywhere, there would still be local conventions where it was pretty much just swap meets or between just vendors and stuff. Like they were local and a few from not too far away. But I can remember going to like the local hotels to their big dining areas where the tables would be set up around the perimeter of the room and stuff. And it would be a blast.
Yeah.
I think the last one like that I went to that was small and local was like maybe 2002 or 3. Day of Vengeance had come out, which was a tie-in for Infinite Crisis. And issue 1 sold out pretty quick, and I missed it. I wanted that cover A, and it was going for like $20. And my dad's like, dude, it's not worth that. That's a cover price book, and not long for. Like, there's no way, Dad. This story's epic. He's like, look, a year from now, that book will be cover price or less. I'm like, no way. So little did I know, my dad is so analytical, so logical, just kind of. He used to be a cop. I call him RoboPop all the time, but he went home to his calendar that day and marked it on the calendar. And I kid you not, 1 year later, when I was over at his house, like he's like, hey, look at this. And he showed me on the calendar. And then we grabbed an Overstreet and he opened it up. And sure enough, the book was down to cover price. I'm like, dang it.
Wow.
Yeah, your dad sounds as petty as my dad and me.
It's not petty. It was fun to look back on it. But I do own that book now. I did not pay $20 for it.
Dad knows.
Dad knows.
Except for when it comes to me being dad, then I don't know anything.
Well, that's the one honest thing that any parent will tell you. And someone asks you, how do you do it? By admitting you don't know and just rolling with it. Just know that you don't know what you're doing and do your best. That's all you can do.
You figure it out one way or another.
That's a life goal, though. That's a life rule.
I'm gonna get Frank on my channel at some point to talk about that book. He's just been so busy with signings everywhere, man.
He's a really nice guy.
You should bring me on in with him too, Bert, because I got some questions for him after that book.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I had some questions too, and I messaged him and he answered them. He answered them.
I saw those vague answers.
If there were questions that were relating to the book that he could answer.
Well, I got more questions along the lines of like, what were you thinking?
Wow.
What was the book?
Power Rangers Unlimited. Edge of Darkness.
Edge of Darkness #1.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, as somebody who's vocal on social media about not spending time looking into the past, we spent a long time looking into the past.
Look at Brooke. He's just staring off into space there. It's like a high school yearbook photo.
So stoked.
Yeah, there it is again.
Yeah, it is again, right? You need a cut in of his looking the other direction.
It was an $8 book. So
I'll be honest with you, I love wordy books, but in this sense, the words weren't moving the narrative forward. That's what got me. And I absolutely love Rita and her backstory, but we're kind of treading on territory we've already treaded on if you follow the series. And then the Phantom Ranger I was excited about because this was his big introduction into and all they did was make him a short-sighted martyr. They wanted to play him like he was mission-driven, but you can't complete your mission if you're not alive. And he was going out of his way to die the entire book. I'm like, why is Rita's mom the only level-headed person in this entire book?
We will find out. We will find out who he is at some point.
It doesn't matter who he is. They made that abundantly clear in this book right here. Who he is irrelevant. But yeah, no. He's an encasement that holds morphin energy. We found it out.
I think that he was bounded by like what Boom said he could do and couldn't do. You know what I mean?
Sure. So he should have told a different story.
Mark is just like
he's all spitting vinegar this morning, and you're hungover.
Mark's on one. I don't even read Power Rangers, but I know I'm familiar with how Mark is. So if he's being this vocal about this comic, it must have really grinded his gears.
No, the book wasn't bad. Again, the story that he told wasn't a bad story. It was why.
There's not a lot happened in it.
The first page and the last page were completely relevant to the ongoing comic moving forward, and they took the time to make one page a big plot point reveal. Like one page, like okay, cool. Back to Rita.
Cool, but not cool.
Yeah, now there was, and I mentioned it last night. Like there was one panel that just really got me in the feels when you had her mom kind of like look in and see like the cycle of their life. Like you see her husband before he was Master Vile, then as Master Vile. And then you see Kid Rita, then Sorceress Rita, and then when she had came back as a good guy. And I'm just like, oh, man, right in the feels. Because if you watch the show, she has such an amazing arc from just innocent child to corrupted to right back to where she should have been her whole time, basically like following in the footsteps of her mother. And just seeing that page is kind of just like reminds you like, yes, this is such an awesome character. And I enjoy getting these little tidbits of her life interjected. But this was the Phantom Ranger story. That's what this was supposed to be. Well, I don't know.
Like I said, I think I think we will get more of that later. That's all I can say.
That's every writer's favorite time is later.
I think that's all I can say at this moment.
That's all we know at this point, Steve.
Okay. How about Rita's mom wearing the dragon shield?
Mm-hmm.
That was cool.
Yeah, kind of contradicts what we've seen in the past too, doesn't it?
Everything does, just like the Draken world where Finster 5 died, but then he's somehow back with Draken New Dawn.
Mm-hmm. But then they mentioned something about it. There's like an offhand comment, like Finster 5 is literally half android at that point. Like how much of him is actually like living and how much of him is artificial.
They made a joke about how he was supposed to be dead and how he's alive again.
Do you remember when Rita went and found the original source of the Dragon Coin energy in Go-Go Power Rangers?
Yes.
Yeah, that's in my mind. That's where the Dragon Shield came from and belonged. So that was kind of a throw off for me.
I'm about to go eat some breakfast, so I'll see you guys later. Hopefully, Mark's in a better mood next time I talk to him. Yeah, I do.
Later, Steve.
All right, later, guys.
Later, man.
Take it easy, bro. After talking with Eric Burnham, it sounds like licensed books can be a headache, he said. He wrote an entire book that was approved, and then they changed their mind, and he had to mad dash to fix it. Yeah, I can't even imagine the nightmare that must be.
Yeah, that's something even Kyle Higgins talked about a lot with, when Hasbro was running the show. It's just really hard because they're like, oh, well, we're going to do that later somewhere else. So you can't do that. And you're sitting in the meeting like, well, I can't tell if I just said that. And they were like, that's such a good idea that we're going to like keep it for ourselves now. Or if, it really was something they were already planning. And I just thought the same thing,
That's a really good idea. I'm glad I thought of it.
Yeah.
Right.
John, what was your read of the week so far?
I really loved the Chip Zdarsky crossover. I thought that issue was phenomenal. I'm a big fan of the comic Powers, which they throw a little nugget at the end for that Bendis comic from Image that I thought was really underrated. So I really thought that was funny. Plus, I think Chip Zdarsky has a great sense of humor, and so that was probably my read of the week. But there was a bunch of great stuff. So
how did you feel about the rest of crossover? So I can get a barometer?
I'm not a huge fan of the Donnie run, like the 6-issue Donnie run. I was ready to call it a whole thing quits and just be like, if I hear it gets good again, I'll pick it up.
That's exactly where I'm at. Yeah,
it was a little too slow, a little all over the place, and it didn't amount to a whole lot for me. But this was easily
basically
the best
last
issue.
Two issues, right?
This was better than the whole run for me.
I might read it then, yeah, because I kind of felt the same about the initial 6 issues. Is like the last issue and a half, like were really kind of everything that whole run amounted to.
Absolutely,
everything that we expected, And so I was like, I don't know if I want to pick up more. And then it was like, oh, well, Zdarsky's doing the next arc, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna stick around for that. And then they're like, oh no, it's only one issue. And I was like, I don't know if I want to waste my time on just a single issue, but if it's better than like everything else that came before it, I might go ahead and check that one out.
They do poke a lot of fun at his Sex Criminals Image book, which I think is a very funny book. And he even had included himself into that story at different points. And so there's a reference to like how he's a comic book character and a writer, like he's both. And it's kind of a funny way to look at Chip. Like it's very meta. Correct. It's very meta.
It was very weird to see him spooning himself in that book.
Right? So funny.
That sounds unsettling and amazing.
It really was, and I like his sense of humor, so I was all in on that. Whack, what's up?
What's up? I'm back.
Yeah.
He saw John. He was like, I got to get on there.
The opposite of me seeing Burke, and I'm like, oh crap.
Damn.
What is up? E-Man is in the house. C-list villain has arrived.
What it do?
Also being stoic.
Good morning.
I found out last night E-Man actually graduated Juilliard and Harvard School of Business at the same time.
Same time.
No. I said I attended Juilliard and I graduated the Harvard Business School. Thank you very much. I travel extensively. I went through the Black Plague and enjoyed that. That's what I said.
It's not a proper Friday morning community hangout until E-Man shows up. I'm actually forced to stay live until he gets here. Now at this point, I'm free to do what I will. A proper show.
The Arby's run is imminent now.
Yeah. I don't know if you know this, John, but this is a very loose formatted show for me. It's just meant for people in the community just to get to hang out because we don't always get this opportunity enough. And there's more just kind of open invite hangouts, like
this is one of the few shows that's like perfectly timed for me. I watch the show pretty consistently because it's like when I wake up and I'm sitting on the couch by myself reading comics before anyone else in my house is awake. So
that's how you're when y'all do the Sunday morning hangout, or Sunday morning, Saturday morning hangout.
Yeah, that's time zones are hard.
You start at 30 minutes before I go on break because I close up shop at noon on those days. I have to come back in the afternoon so I deal with live animals, but So everything's pretty much locked down, and I'm just listening for a phone. I'm just sticking around for half hour in case the late customer shows up. I'm able to fire it up, and I listen to y'all as I go through the drive-through on the way home. And then me, the wife, Finn, and Laura sit here with y'all playing, and Finn's watching what y'all are doing, and we just have lunch every Saturday morning.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Yeah, we absolutely love it. It's part of
I was reading some trades this morning, so I was like, catching up on some indies and just listening to you guys.
I've watched a couple of John's shows, and I just like how it feels like he's a professor and he's learning us the way. Like I feel like he's got a book in his hands, and he talks to us, Rabbi, and then on today's episode we're talking. But it's so formal. I love
Did you do the homework? Did you get the homework done?
Never do the homework. The dog ate it. The dog ate it.
Yeah. John, on Saturday mornings, I'll wake up and I'll see you're on, check in and see what's going on. And then I know a few hours later, Jason, Southern Comic Geek, is going to be starting his cartoon show. So I'll look and see what cheapos he's got on there. Be like, okay, I'm kind of interested. But yeah, like for today's show on Friday, I'm off on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I can get up ass early in the morning because you start this super early. So I can actually see what's going on here for the Hangout.
That's a solid schedule there. You got Vincent off Thursday, Friday. See, he can pick up his comics on Wednesday, read them all day Thursday, get messed up on Friday, and be all right on Saturday. Like it works out beautifully. I love it.
Like recovering from Friday nights, I know there's a lot of stuff going on in the comic community, but Friday nights with me and my friends up here is the gaming night. So we'll all get drunk gaming, and then I'll wake up with coffee and be professored, on Saturday morning by John over here.
Telling you, John's format is outstanding. He's there. He's just very formal, and he's got that voice to it. So it's amazing. His show's pretty awesome.
Thanks, brother. These are hilarious. No, so this morning I was reading Gideon Falls, which I had not read, and I'm a Jeff Lemire fan, and people were telling me how great it was. It's just been sitting on my shelf, the volumes. It's a good creepy. It's not the typical horror thing where it's like graphic and disturbing. This is really like just subtly creepy. Like you're like, what the heck is with this barn and what is going on?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that sounds great.
Psychological horror kind of thing.
It's very subtle as far as its horror leans towards. A little more towards suspense, and then it'll get into a little bit of sci-fi later on. It's one of my favorite reads over the last couple of years, to be honest with you. It's a great book.
That sounds amazing.
So Jeff Lemire is just so consistent that I feel like at this point, anything he does, I'm kind of just looking out for. And so this was one that I was holding off on because I finished Black Hammer, finished Ascender and Descender. He's just amazing. So this was just a treat I was waiting for.
Now you sound like Lee from Whack Comics.
Yeah.
Speaking of suspense and thrillers and stuff like that, it's not a comic book, but it's a good segue. I recently just watched Ex Machina the other day.
Good freaking movie.
Great movie. Yeah.
So because you said suspense and all that kind of thriller and then like mind screwing and stuff like that, like that was messed up.
It's worth it for the Oscar Isaac dancing scene alone.
Like they were so in step. Honestly,
God, it's so good.
I was just thinking that Oscar Isaac was not who he was. He was actually like another AI, but just like completely like put together.
There's
right.
So many layers to look at in that. And I remember watching that movie, and then he gets to the dance scene, and I'm like, okay, I'm all in. Wherever this movie goes, like, let's just go.
Was his dance scene better than Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 3 dance?
Oh yeah,
that's a high bar.
I think the only thing that Tobey Maguire's dance scene had over Oscar Isaac's is the finger guns. That's it. That's it. If he had finger guns,
that's totally fair.
I don't know. I feel like the overall dance of the Oscar Isaac dance scene was overall better, but if he had the finger guns, that'd take top priority.
I'm just a fan that we have Poe Dameron and Laura Croft in the same movie. I thought that was pretty cool,
It was so good. If you like science fiction, it's not really horror. It's definitely like psychological suspense. Like if you'd like that,
it's more like in the horror genre. It's the psychological horror part of it.
It is a top tier thriller. Like, and a ton of people missed it because it was, indie movies get lost these days, and It's a great movie, though.
Yeah. I was like on YouTube, you know, however we all are on YouTube, and you just start seeing stuff pop up, and they're like, Ex Machina, this is why it is the way it is. And I started watching, and it's like, okay, this is too interesting. Let me just go ahead and watch it. I've been putting it off forever. And it was cool seeing one of the Weasleys was the main actor. That was cool. And like I kept trying to picture Oscar Isaac, and then I was like, oh, is that him? Okay, all right, now I know who to expect.
And Oscar Isaac and Domhnall Gleeson are both in the new Star Wars movies. They got these two guys to go.
Yeah, is that General Hux?
It is.
Yeah,
Hux,
yeah.
Where he called him General Hugs. Looking for General Hugs. I'll wait.
All right. So speaking of Star Wars, did you guys see?
Thumbs down. Be ready.
No. Did you guys see that they apparently had already filmed General Thrawn scenes for the next thing? Did you guys by chance see that? I swear I thought I saw it.
For Mandalorian?
I don't remember if it was for Mandalorian or for the Ahsoka series or something like that. But I swear I thought I saw somebody say that they had already filmed the General Thrawn scenes, but they haven't announced who the actor or actress is supposed to be for that character. So
Vincent,
aggressively relaxing.
I just met you today, but is this one of those late night Wednesday, Thursday night type things where you're drinking and reading comic books a little bit too much?
No.
Okay, just trying to get the feel of it. You know,
it's not. That's a fair inquiry, but it's not. It was like I don't remember what day it was. Let me see if I can find it.
No, I'll believe you because there's also that flash that supposed flash leak too. So I'm sure there's something out there regarding Thrawn.
So aggressively relaxing. If you haven't seen About Time with Domhnall Gleeson, that movie's phenomenal. And then Ignacio mentions Annihilation by the same director of Ex Machina. Yeah, that movie is buck wild as well.
Okay,
that was weird.
I found a thing.
That one's way weirder.
Live action Grand Admiral Thrawn reportedly done filming first series, posted on the 24th of June.
So he's going to get his own series?
Or maybe Disney's just loading up on scenes so that way they can just go ahead and insert them.
But here's the crazy part is they haven't announced who the actor is supposed to be.
Yeah, that is crazy.
And so if they've already filmed it, no leaks have happened. Okay, please, like have Benedict Cumberbatch be the character or the actor to portray the character, because everybody has been saying if Benedict Cumberbatch did Grand General Thrawn, that'd be perfect.
He's going to be too expensive for that part, but he would be great in it.
It'd be so worth it, though. Like 100%
for fans, for sure. But I don't know, like long term. I don't know.
He's doing Doctor Strange. He's already under Disney. I'm pretty sure Disney can swing and be like, "Hey, would you also want to do Thrawn?" You know,
can you step over one stage?
Yeah,
and
get over on the other stage. Put on the blue makeup. Let's go.
It's just across the street. Don't worry about it. You're good. We got you covered. You know.
What's expensive for Disney though? Like I assume like nothing's really out of their reach, but at the same time, then they charge their subscribers to watch movies on Premiere. Like it's like they're not broke. They're just petty as hell, man, about some stuff.
Hey, when you corner the market, you can do whatever you want, right?
I mean, I guess what Disney does is it gives those actors the exposure that they need, so that way they can go elsewhere. That way they can go ask for top dollar at a different studio, you know?
Yeah, so they do the big movie, and then they can, you know, the actor or actress, let's just call it Nicolas Cage, all right? They can do the big movies, and then they can start doing the weird indie movies like Mandy and, you know, stuff like that, and just be like, I'm happy with it.
Exactly what what's his name? Ben Affleck said in the Jay and Silent Bob movie, where you do this flick and then you do the indie flick and then you do the flick that you're doing for your friend flick before you do the big money flick. So yeah, it makes sense.
Have you guys seen Luca?
Oh, my daughters really loved it. I haven't seen it though.
Mermaid movie.
It's the new Pixar one.
Pixar movie.
Yeah, it's the new Little Mermaid movie, pretty much. Like, right? That
was by Disney Pixar.
Did you enjoy it?
I don't know. It's kind of a stretch to turn it into Little Mermaid, but yeah.
My wife is obsessed with that. I think it's good, but there's not a lot of depth to it.
I will say the last Pixar movie that I loved was Onward. I thought that movie was freaking amazing.
Oh yeah,
dude,
yeah.
I got full tears.
Yeah, I didn't expect to cry twice in one kid's movie.
God! But Pixar, when they hit a home run, that's gone. That ball's gone.
I watched that movie with my daughter, and at the time I think he was 16-year-old, my 16-year-old son, and we're in the living room watching the movie, and they had already seen it. They're like, "Dad, you need to watch this with us." And it's a great family movie, and he's 16 at the time. He's already kind of like, Dad, get away from me. Like, he doesn't want anything to do with that. But during that movie, I like a couple of times he would come over and just hug me. Towards the end, he'd hug me a little tighter. I'm like, oh, okay.
Don't go, Dad. Don't go.
Yeah,
it's a very, very sweet movie.
My dad has brothers, and I've got brothers, and it was all like brother love kind of stuff. So I was like all in on it.
Yeah, he was like, I need to watch this with my older brother. I have a 27-year-old, and he's like, I need to watch it with him too.
Totally. But my girls loved Luca. They really loved it. So
yeah, my kids seem to enjoy it. So
yeah, I think
I've seen like
it's more of
scenes
a kids movie, which is good. That's fine.
Well, yeah, after this whole, they kind of need to bounce back toward the right category.
Nothing can beat Ratatouille for me. I just
such a good
peak.
Still haven't seen that one.
But I mean, Brad Bird, I think, has been one of the best animated film. I mean, Iron Giant is.
Yep.
Oh my god,
such a phenomenal.
I think
movie.
Iron Giant, Incredibles, and Ratatouille are like three of my favorite.
And he did all three. It's like amazing.
I didn't realize he did Ratatouille.
Yeah. He also did one of the better Mission Impossibles. I liked his Mission Impossible too.
Oh god, I love that Ghost Protocol.
Ghost Protocol is a great freaking movie. If he just didn't do John Carter of Mars, we'd still be talking about him, right? Isn't that one of his?
Hey, look, John. I feel like
I'll see you guys later.
I feel like John Carter gets a lot of flack. I thoroughly enjoyed that movie. I thought John Carter was not a bad movie at all.
I never watched it again.
Absolutely understand people's problems with it.
Ryan, that almost makes me want to buy a Power Rangers book.
Look at that. 3D.
This is the first cover I ever chased.
That's a great variant.
Yeah, I gotta have that.
First time I ever saw Iron Giant, I was in a film school class, and the movie hadn't been released yet. And one of the animators brought it so that we could watch it in an advanced screening. And I was like, "Oh God, my film buddies are gonna hate this. They're all like Scorsese, Tarantino fans, and we're watching this crappy animated movie." And they were all crying like all the way through that movie. I was like,
Superman,
so good.
I remember watching it as a kid, just being like, what am I watching? How is this so good?
I mean, they basically just took E.T. and remade it. It's pretty amazing.
The historical significance and the characters, the voice acting. I love everything about it.
So if Iron Giant is E.T., Luca is definitely the Little Mermaid.
No, Luca's not as good as Little Mermaid's way better than Luca.
Oh, I agree, and I'm not joking. We showed Finn Little Mermaid for the first time after watching Luca. Like that's literally what my wife and I both thought. And he was mad that we weren't just replaying the same movie because he's 3, and when you like something, you just replay it.
That's how it is.
Yeah. But, he was mad, and then it got started with the pirate ship coming. As soon as you see that pirate ship crest the wave, he kind of just looked up. And then they start singing and pulling the ropes, and the guy with the green face throwing up, he's like, "This isn't bad." And then by the time we get underwater and actually get to the first song, he's like, "I like this movie." And then he said it like right by my feet on the couch. So the whole time, just watching the movie, just sitting there like this.
Well, then part 3 of that trilogy would be, what is it? Ponyo? This is another basic Little Mermaid.
You watch that as well, because if you have HBO Max, you have the Studio Ghibli hub inside.
You do. That's one of the best parts about it.
My wife, my daughter, my 13-year-old is big into manga, and she likes Totoro because I remember watching My Neighbor Totoro as a kid, like having the clamshell VHS of it. It was fantastic.
So good.
So I showed my daughter that when she was growing up, and she just wanted to go back and watch all the Studio Ghibli stuff. So we did that in the last year. Watched every single one of them on HBO Max.
My girls haven't seen Howl's Moving Castle, which is always one of my favorites.
Really
Got to watch that with them.
Hey, how old is Finn?
Spirited Away, good. I like Porco Roscoe.
Yeah, Porco's good.
Mark, how old is Finn?
3.
3? Oh, okay.
The first Studio Ghibli movie I ever saw was around 8 years old. Was Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, and that movie blew me away as a kid. I'm like, this is kind of violent for a child's movie. I need more of this. And
like Mad Max without cars.
Yeah, like the big bugs with the red and the blue eyes. I have always gravitated to those things. Like those things are so cool to me. And just to see it on HBO Max, I'm like, oh man, this is like my childhood. I love it.
See, now you guys are making me want to like spend the weekend watching Studio Ghibli.
Oh, I have a second screen right here. So like when I get to work, it's just gonna be on for background noise for the rest of the day.
Watching it now.
Yeah, I thought you said you just had it on now and you weren't.
I know. I thought he was about to say, I'm watching it right now.
I'm sorry, what?
Princess Mononoke is another good one. There's not a bad one.
Yes, Mononoke is a good one. Yeah,
Princess Mononoke was my first.
My girls are obsessed with Totoro still. That's still like, I don't think anything's going to beat that for them. But yeah.
Just when they're all
once I saw Mononoke, I was like, I got to watch all of these.
So good. And my daughters love the cat bus. They're like, I want to ride the cat bus.
I bought a cat bus for my daughter for Christmas one year. Like she actually has the stuffed animal of a cat bus and Totoro.
So
like she's all about the anime stuff, and I love it. Like I actually bought her a little anime Aristal from Final Fantasy VII because that's her name. She's got like all these cool little anime stuffed animals, man. I totally geeked her out. I won that one right
I can remember being little after seeing Totoro, like well after it, and walking outside. You know, if it's dark, you walk outside and there's a good gust of wind, and you hear the trees move, you just stop. You're just like,
is that him?
You just catch yourself like the wind blowing becomes like significant after that movie.
Totally.
Like, it is fantastic.
Totally.
Every kid likes to find that little nook that they can crawl into a bush, you know, and have those little, like, it just plays
the whole magical world and
it was perfect.
And that connection to nature.
And hope that you can run into a rabbit bear that won't eat you.
A big fluffy one that you can climb on and fly away with.
Oh man. Secret World of Arrietty. That was the very first anime that I took my daughter to see in the movie theater. She was like 3 or 4. And, you know, a 3 or 4 year old, you're not sure if they're going to be able to sit down and through a movie, right?
Yeah,
no, she was stuck. She might have stood up over and looking over the chairs, but she was stuck watching the movie. I'm like, okay, good. This is when I knew I can take my daughter to a movie at an early age and not worry about her screaming, you know, in the movie theater. So I was like, yeah, I won that battle too.
Go. Yeah, for sure. Some of the chat may have noticed that every time Ryan's taking a drink of coffee, I've been trying to time my drinks of coffee.
Miss So brings up a great movie. Your Name is absolutely fantastic. However, it is the anime version of The Notebook, but better.
Oh, better?
Really?
Yeah. In my opinion, better.
I didn't think it was like The Notebook.
I felt like it was like The Notebook.
Better than The Notebook.
I really liked that movie. It was such a good movie.
The Notebook.
I legit like The Notebook.
Yeah, me too. It's good.
Watch Your Name when you get a chance. Watch Your Name. It's a great movie.
Is it kid friendly or is it just adult mainly?
PG-13.
Okay.
It's love, you know. I know there's not too much.
I thought it was more. As far as I heard, it was more like Freaky Friday than. Is that the wrong movie?
I don't know
Because
I haven't seen
from what I remember, it felt a lot like The Notebook. But it was very sci-fi-ish because you have these two people from two different worlds just trying to communicate with each other. Sci-fi-ish, yeah. I throw it like a sci-fi. In my opinion, I think it's more of a sci-fi Notebook. Gotta watch it again.
I thought that The Notebook is kind of like Titanic, but on land.
Oh, I love Titanic.
Yeah.
No, I haven't watched Akira, Ignacio. It's not on Netflix.
What?
Call Netflix. Tell them.
Ooh, okay, so
because they listen to you when you do that.
With Akira, with Akira, it's really tricky. I think it's one of those things where you have to find like an older copy and get either the old subs or the old dubs, because when they updated it with the new dubbed, it just didn't sound right. It didn't make any sense. Like watching the older Akira movie, in fact, if you can find it like on an old DVD, I'd probably watch it that way, just because in my opinion, the subs and the dubs just make a lot more sense. The new updated stuff, I felt like it took away from its from its overall feeling of the movie.
Is this like the Greedo shot first? Watch your VHS of Star Wars.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't cheapen yourself, Tyler. You need to go on eBay, get a VHS player, go buy a VHS of Akira, and get the immersive experience.
Yeah,
I still have the VHS.
I need to watch it. I haven't seen Akira yet.
VHS company, we'll always have a VHS player and boxes of VHS. Yeah, I remember when Blu-ray first came around. I'm like, dude, this is not going to bode well for me because there was a lot of special effects and stuff hidden in the low resolution. There's like a whole tone and feel to the grittiness, and it just threw me off for the longest time. But now it feels normal. But it's the same thing when you go back and watch them and certain stuff in that lower resolution. It just like I prefer this with this film.
Yeah.
Go watch Flash Gordon and Blu-ray. And you're going to see Dale's nibbly bits because when she's doing, I'm being serious, when she's doing like some of like the tuck and rolling and stuff and the outfit that Ming puts her in, there's stuff that is accidentally revealed in high definition that wasn't meant to be.
There you go. It's like that issue of X-Men that they published it in black and white, and all of a sudden you could see Storm's, topless in the shadows, but when they had done it inked and colored in the pages of the original issue, you couldn't see it.
Yeah. But
they published it in black and white without the coloring and the inking on top, and you're like, oh, that is definitely a nipple.
Well, it's kind of like watching Airplane for the first time. It says PG, and then you see like full frontals and everything, and
the nudes. Yeah.
Just I was like, wait, isn't this a PG movie? Why are there full breastises?
It was a bowl of fruit, wasn't it, that they were painting, and then you see it's a nude model or something.
Yeah.
That's Airplane too. So good.
And then the girl like jumps in front and just jumps up and down.
But then there's also that era when movies hadn't come up with PG-13 yet, and so movies were like, holy crud, what you can do in a PG movie, like Uncle Buck.
It's like
the language in Uncle Buck is really raw.
It's like during that time there was the PG, then NC-17, and then rated R. You had more NC-17 going around at that time.
And all of a sudden, Indiana Jones's heart gets ripped out by a crazy guy in Temple of Doom, and people are like, okay, maybe we need another layer.
Yeah,
that's crossing the line.
PG-13 in the 80s and 90s is not PG-13 that it is now. It's way different.
Definitely, the waters had to settle a little bit on that one.
I even think that Terminator 2 is like closer to PG-13 today than most rated R movies. Like, I can't really think of a whole lot of things in there
I would argue that Temple of Doom is way more graphic than
I think so too.
Absolutely.
T2 is strictly on language. They break the threshold of permitted.
Oh, language. Yeah, that's true.
Violence-wise, all you have is T-1000 killing the foster dad, and that's it. That's the only graphic.
That was
that's
disturbing. I remember that back in the day, seeing the dude with the milk carton just like.
I think that was even kept in on TV.
Every wife is like, that's what I gotta get my husband. Stop talking.
I feel like a lot of I absolutely hate the MPAA. Just throwing that out there. Anyways, I absolutely hate them. But
it's completely arbitrary. But yeah,
it is. But I feel like they are definitely doing a lot more of determining what the rating is going to be based on like maybe more psychological and like overarching kind of thing and stuff. So like if there's not like a whole lot of violence or anything, but there's like a whole bunch of psychological terror and horror and whatever else going on, that also has a pretty big factor into what they're going to decide on.
You see that with the DC animated movies where I'm sure they're also trying to play it safe so that kids don't pick up the wrong movies, like with the Killing Joke and stuff like that, where there's definitely elements of torture and definitely adult-oriented storytelling, but they don't want any kind of flack as well.
Or Batman getting it on with Batgirl, and people are like, whoa.
Yo, okay,
Heroes
so
don't do that.
So who drew that picture? Who drew that picture of Batman?
Are you talking about Batman and Catwoman?
Batman going down on Catwoman. Who ended up drawing that? Did they ever?
I don't know,
look,
golf clap for that guy.
Heroes don't do that. Okay,
which is such bull crap.
Did you see?
So ridiculous.
Did you see the Warner? They pulled Snyder's tweet.
That's funny.
No,
they issued a what's it called? DMCA takedown or whatever.
Really?
Against his tweet. Yeah.
And thus keeping it alive and talked
Yes,
about.
exactly.
Forward, making it bigger than it was
Whoops.
before.
Wait, what? What happened?
Don't do it, Tyler.
Whenever that whole thing went down, like a day or two later, Zack Snyder posted he did a tweet and he had an image from a comic book and he said, boom, canon.
Yeah.
And then a few days later,
it wasn't from a book. Yeah.
It wasn't from a comic.
Well,
I think it was somebody that just drew it. Like an
okay.
artist just
It was like fan
drew the
art.
picture.
Zach
And,
had it drawn probably.
right. It was like
regardless,
commissioned.
he posted it,
Yeah.
and then
Max, like,
Warner
I know
went
my
and
fan base, and I
issued
know
had their
the-
lawyers do a DMCA against it.
Because, like, let's be honest here, okay? Because that is getting so much flack, and everybody's just like, "Why is this a big deal?" Like, this is going to change. It's going to change the overall tone of superheroes going forward to make them more relatable. Because what could possibly be even more relatable than death and despair than actual human connection via boinking? Okay,
This
like
is-
so, like. It's going to change. That's what's going to end up becoming. So
Batman has a son.
yeah,
It's all bullshit because if Batman can't go down on Catwoman, how is it that DC can show the Batchlong and
But they
Batman
regretted
down?
that
but that wasn't
decision and went
canon.
back on it right away.
Black Label.
yeah, it wasn't technically canon, right?
It was
Black
already-
Label is
it
not
was already
canon.
branded, but that
And they
means
took it away so fast too.
They did.
Yeah, but I mean,
backtracked
they
that so fast.
Unfortunately,
yeah, and also you can't argue the canon thing because it was a Harley Quinn show that's not really canon, right?
Which is also the Harley Quinn is basically
But
the
I thought it
animated Black
was.
Label. I mean, let's
But
be honest.
I thought Harley Quinn show was canon. I thought
No,
everything
it
that was
is?
going on
Oh,
was
no.
I assumed that had nothing
It
to
is-
do with actual
it is
canon.
like wherever canon is, whatever the equal opposite of that in the dark multiverse, that is the Harley Quinn show.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Which I
that's what
gotta
we
watch.
need
I
more
haven't
of.
seen it yet.
We need more of it. It is so fun. And if
Yeah.
that's probably the most tame thing that you'd expect to see in that show at this point.
Right.
Well,
that's fair.
I think it's just.
Bermejo,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Bermejo had to go back and change, I think, 3 pages for
Issue
issue
two.
number 2.
Yeah.
And one of them was allegedly going to be naked Harley.
She basically takes advantage of a semi-unconscious Bruce Wayne
Yeah.
as Batman.
So Wonder Woman 2.
Yeah.
I didn't
Fair.
see.
That's fair.
I didn't see the other one. But yeah, okay.
That's completely accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which Ignacio is making the same point about the creation of Damian. I mean, let's just
Yeah.
let's just be honest, because I'm currently rereading the Grant
Yeah, pretty
Morrison. I'm trying to read the Grant Morrison Batman, and
With
yeah,
those
they
beautiful
go into
Alex
some
covers.
details on the creation of Damian, which is hilarious because like Bruce is still wearing the cowl during the act.
Oh, really?
That's
kind of like how Bruce is still wearing the cowl going down on Catwoman.
I think
Right?
it's hilarious.
He's like, I'm going to go full Batman on this right now.
Because we
Wouldn't
know
that
that
be
Talia
like-
knows his identity, so there's no need to keep the pretense going.
Right.
But it's clearly what's
Well,
getting her off. Let's just
I
be
mean, I've
honest.
seen in other stuff where Batman's been captured by people where they're not necessarily keeping his identity a secret for themselves. It's for the
Right.
people that might show up around them.
If one of the League of Shadows is going to walk into her tent when she's banging Batman, then there's security issues at the League of Shadows.
There's something's involved.
the League of
Shadows.
But anyways, I was flipping through that little back story, and I was like, "Really? He's wearing the mask? All right, you whatever gets you off, Talia. You know, hey, no kink shaming."
No.
That might be
Batman
the
is
problem.
sex
Maybe
positive.
Batman is asexual.
Yeah, at this point, thank you, Scott Snyder. I think that was crack the egg. Give me another 22-year-old Batman, please.
Wait, Scott Snyder or Zack Snyder?
Zach.
Scott Snyder, the writer, Scott Snyder.
Uh-huh. Who posted the picture? I'm lost.
I'm
Hold on.
talking about
Zack
the Batman
Snyder.
Black.
Zack
No, I'm
Snyder
talking about
posted.
Batman being asexual.
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't know if y'all know, like in his run, they did like that whole story arc where like Batman has a failsafe where his consciousness is basically put into a 20-something-year-old body of himself while he's young. And in that Last Night on Earth, that 3 issue that Scott and Capullo did for Black Label, which is like a bookend for their run, it's the final egg waking up. It's not an egg. It's literally just a chamber. It's shaped like
clone.
an egg.
He basically ricked himself.
Yeah, he basically has clones on deck ready to pop out a non-old man broken body, that he can keep fighting crime in Gotham with. But
I was like, it's the epilogue we really did not need.
That nobody asked for, but we did not deserve.
Yeah, right. I really wish they just sort of finished at death of the family. It just kind of said, "Hey, that's the end. Death of the family is the end of the Snyder or Scott Snyder run." Because that's where I stopped collecting it. I mean, I've read it, but I don't care to read anything past that.
Do they have the that Batman RIP in the that was a trade, right? They have in the back of that the cover gallery, because Alex Ross absolutely went to town on that cover run.
Let me see here. They've got a little breaking down. It doesn't look like a colored cover gallery. No.
Oh, that's a huge loss.
It might just be that they've got the covers at the beginning of each issue.
Oh, yeah.
This one right here.
Yeah, that is just gorgeous.
That is sweet.
Oh, that's dope. That really is.
Did he do covers all the way through the series? Yes, he did.
Yeah,
so they've got the covers in between at the issue where the issues start.
Make him big.
They did it as the Virgin variants.
Let me see if I can make him big.
That's what she said.
You're big now, John.
There you
go. I like
it. Looks so good.
I've never seen that cover.
So cool.
I've never seen anybody do Batman better than Alex Ross.
It's a really good run. I like the story arc. I like Damian as a character. So I'm kind of been into this. Of course, I love the Dick Grayson as Batman to Damian's Robin stuff. I thought that was really fun. But somehow I missed some of the key issues. Like I haven't read the Resurrection of Ra's al Ghul, which people tell me is really good.
It just happened again.
Damian is such a turd.
Damian is an absolute shit, but he's amazing.
Have you been reading Robin that's been coming out?
Yeah. I like some issues, and then I hate some issues. So it's a roller coaster ride for me.
Hey, you hear that, Ryan? We're not crazy.
Huh?
I asked him about the current run on Robin, what he thinks. He said he's liked some issues and hated some issues, so it's a roller coaster for him.
Yeah, it's been inconsistent. I feel like they don't know what the tone is for that book. Is it serious and dramatic? Is it silly and funny? And so as a result, it goes back and forth. Nice gargoyles.
That's what my critique of it was here recently, because I'm hearing so many people thinking high praises of it. I'm like, dude, it's not a great book. This conversation with Connor and Damian was fantastic. The rest of the book was unnecessary. If this was just a backup story and they cut out all the fat off of the bone, it would be a glorious read. Just the meat and potatoes.
Are we talking about Robin?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, the thing that really got me was the high praises for that second issue. And I just didn't understand. Like, it was a walk and talk about the rules of the island that literally could have just been a poster on the wall in like one panel. And then you could have just like cut out like half of the book easily.
Yeah, I think I'm not a huge fan of this the way they're just laying out the story. I think the idea is really interesting. I think the concept is really interesting, and I like Damian. I love the bit in the second issue when he realizes, when they explain the rules of the island, he's like, "Oh, so people can die," and then he just runs through and like kills like 10 people. He's just like, sweet. That was a great Damian moment for me. I was like, okay, this book has potential.
I definitely agree with that, and it was fun reading. Then you go to the issue 3, and then when they give you the 2-page of fight sequence, the panel work was so god awful that you couldn't even make out the fight. Like when you turn the page and Connor has him over his head, you're like, wait, how did he even get over his head? Like, I thought he was winning this fight. This panel work looks like he just beat the crap out of Connor and took one trip. You got to go back, and I don't know, it was, like you said, inconsistent is the best word for it. And I could care less about these backup characters they're trying to introduce. And the book has me at this point wondering, is this even a relevant story? Like, do I need this story at this point? Why is he here? Like, what is his purpose anymore? Like, the big questions I ask, like, what's his motivation? What's his goal? Like, they're getting lost to this bogged down story with teen angst. None of these characters are kids. It doesn't matter what their age is.
Yeah.
These are not kids. So it just plays weird for me. Like these are assassins, these are murderers, these are grown-ups.
It's Joshua Williamson, right? Who's writing it?
Yeah. So it's got me kind of shocked on that aspect.
Yeah. Usually he's a little more consistent.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it a few times. Like, I think it's really ridiculous that it's an ongoing title, and I think that's part of the problem. Is there's no limit to how long he has to say whatever he wants to say. So let's do a couple of tangents. Why not? You know. But for me, I like shorter runs. I like limited series because it forces the creative team to get to the point of things.
I think you can accomplish that in a ongoing. It's just a matter of having the right creative control behind it, so that it's like, here, this is our.
You have
arc.
to have the
framework
of arcs.
But I think that's been the flaw at DC for a while now. For the last few years, in my opinion, is that DC editorial is all over the map, and so some creators are running wild. Just you get your Tom Kings just running wild, and then other creators look like they're being completely stymied and controlled. And I don't think there's any consistency of tone, and as a result, you get, and they backtrack stuff. They start saying, "Oh, this is canon." No, this is not canon, and so I blame the editorial.
I don't like. I've enjoyed Joker so far, but I don't understand why it's an ongoing. Like, it seems like there's a story to tell there, but at some point, it's going to run out of that story and just start.
How is that ongoing? And isn't it weird that it's broken up into sections? Even within its own issue, and then that's going to be ongoing.
There's like 3 chapters in some books and 2 chapters in others. It's just a really weird format for that type of story.
John on this Tom King is running wild and in the best way right now, just telling amazing self-contained stories and just taking his time. He's got these parameters that he has set, and he's working inside of them beautifully. And if that's your thing, it's not everyone's genre inside of comic books, but if you enjoy those, man,
I know I got his Supergirl around here somewhere.
Oh my God, that was so good.
It was a good issue.
You think I give a crap about swords and arrows? I'm like, come on.
He shot Crypto though.
You shot Crypto. Game on.
How do you shoot Crypto?
Powers be damned. Let's go.
And I will say, I've been enjoying Strange Adventures. Like I'm still into Strange Adventures. So
I have loved it. I've been singing its praises any chance I get, and I have hardly no one to talk about it with. But when Mr. Terrific showed up on Rand and showed them how to science, I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
That was awesome. And the reveals in this have been amazing.
Yeah.
Like
I wish it had been a 10 issue and not a 12 issue, but I'm enjoying it completely. I'm excited that the Supergirl one is a 6 or an 8.
I think so. It's a few less than Rorschach has been another one that's been absolutely fun for me that I've really enjoyed.
So I think certain, I'm glad that Didio is not involved anymore. I think that's partly why we're getting all the great Robin stories that we're getting, whether it's Damian or Dick Grayson or whatever. But I still think they just don't have anybody really manning the ship at the top. But they've got some hugely talented artists and writers, and so some of them can independently manage themselves and are able to accomplish those goals, and other people just can't. And so that's what an editor does, is orchestrate things a little better.
Yeah, Future State turned out to birth a lot of fantastic talent for DC. Like that, it was pretty much a proving ground for a lot of people coming over to DC and people who did other things, stepping into comic books, and they haven't disappointed yet. And I wonder how long that'll last. A lot of people are going to come out of the gate and they got to prove themselves, so they're going to give you the best they got. But how long can that last? I mean, you see like some of the most famous writers and artists over the years, it just becomes a job or whatever. But right now, like they're more than less, DC is actually putting out fantastic comic content right now as a whole.
Well, and I think I'm you just worry that somebody like Ram V is going to get overworked. He's got so many freaking books now, and I'm worried like, is the quality of his writing going to go down because he's doing so many things? Because I love Ram V.
It'll be at Marvel, not at DC.
You can hope, but usually it goes down across the board. Ram V is amazing, but it's like, how many books is he writing before the quality just goes down on everything?
Yeah, it'll happen across the board.
He talks about that in his newsletter.
He's just now stepping over to Marvel, with Al Ewing together there. So that'll be
which is also I'm scared of 2 writers on one book. Is like, what's going on here? I don't think it worked on that Valkyrie book that Ewing did with Jason Aaron, where 2 of them writing together was the worst of the Valkyrie books they've made. And I was like, what's going on, guys? but I've loved most everything I've read by Rom V, so I'm hopeful that he can maintain that quality.
Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing is fantastic.
I've not read Catwoman, but I hear people telling me that that's really great too.
Yeah, I've never really picked up any of the Swamp Thing books ever
engrossing
until Rom V.
Yeah,
Like
go back and
Rom V.
try the saga of the Swamp Thing Volume 1 because I think you dig it. It's very much in tone,
super good,
keeping up with what Rom V is clearly inspired by.
I'm actually giving away a Saga of the Swamp Thing trade paperback by Alan Moore for my 500 subscriber giveaway as one of the prizes.
Ooh.
And how do we sign up for this giveaway, Vincent? Could you tell us?
Just make sure you subscribe. Go to the channel, the Road to 500 subscriber video. Do that. But yeah, it's really good. We went to Vegas for my 30th, and I read the whole thing on the way out there. And yeah, it's Alan Moore. I mean, it's so good. Everything Alan Moore does is just great. So if you haven't read Swamp Thing, start there, and then if you like Ram V for the one that he's doing now with a new avatar and a new character, I mean, it's the only other Spawn like different second avatar ever. So if you didn't pick up that number one, I mean, what are you even doing?
It's good. Like I even picked up the Future State Swamp Thing, which I don't even know why I picked it up, but I picked it up. I think it was just because it was Rom V, and I liked that. I thought that was the best of the Future State, so I just continued on by reading the new story with the new avatar. I'm like, oh, dude, this is actually pretty dope. This is a great read. So like Rom V got me on Layla Starr, on Swamp Thing. So now I'm like, all right, now I'm looking for some stuff from Rom V that I'm like, all right, let's see what else you got, man.
Layla Starr was really good.
Yes,
I haven't read the second or third issue, and I was actually kind of scared. I was like, man, I feel like I read the first issue, and I feel like I picked the first issue up at least. And I was digging through the filing cabinet. It's like, okay, yes, I have it, but I want to continue reading it. It's a good, interesting story. I really enjoy it a lot.
Yeah. I would recommend if you're getting into Rom V, I tried out his he did a trade for Vault, I think, called These Savage Shores. It's like a vampires in the East India Trading Company days of like pirates and the trade ships between India and Europe, and a really creepy, cool vampire story. So
what is it called?
These Savage Shores. Yeah,
okay.
Chamorro is talking about it right there in the chat.
These Savage Shores. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
It's one trade volume, so you just buy the single trade paperback, and it's got the whole story from beginning to end. But the artwork is just fire. So if you like a good vampire book, that's the way to go.
I'm going to eBay right now. See if I can find a copy.
I'm sure that I think it's Vault. I'm sure they've got them on their website too. You can just, if you want to go there, or your LCS might have it on the shelves, But that was when I first sort of found Rom V after Swamp Thing. I was like, what else has this guy done? That was the first trade I snagged.
Okay. I know a couple of vampires who might like to read it also.
The vampire potato on the far side.
Yeah, I can buy the paperback on Amazon for like $12 used.
I thought Tyler was in like the corner of the library where the kids' books are.
So These Savage Shores. These Savage Shores #1 at a 9.8 off of Go Collect says it goes for $140, and
not bad.
I see on eBay cover A first print is going for $26. That's a pretty good.
That's a markdown
deal, right?
Yeah. There's zero spec on it, but the artwork is just amazing. It is Vault. Okay, good. It is Vault. Thanks, Ignacio.
Vincent's going to buy the 9.8. Just heard about it. 9.8. Got it.
Because isn't that what we do as collectors? Like
that is what we do.
What book is this?
I've never heard of this. I have the 9.8 first print now.
Yeah, let me see this $26 #1 first print. See what's damaged on it. No, it looks pretty good, actually. All right,
there you go.
Probably 9.8. And I just spent $26 for it and not 150. Sweet.
Anyone read Crossover?
Yes, that was my read of the week.
Yeah. That series is funny to me just because of how meta it is, just because how ridiculous it is, just because I think I read it. It's upstairs.
So
I have
hilarious.
it too. With Chip Zdarsky just
Shooting himself.
so
Shooting himself.
ridiculous,
It's hilarious.
man. Like I read it last night. I told my girlfriend, I was like, I don't know what the shit I just read. And I don't know if I really love it or if I really hate it. I think I'm gonna have to read it again.
It's so good. And I'm a big fan of one of the first Image books that I was big on was Powers by Brian Michael Bendis, and they reference it at the end. And I was like, no. When I saw that splash page at the end, I was like, oh, this is so great.
I was like, I don't know who these guys, so I looked it up, and it's a trip because Powers went from Image to Marvel to DC to no one owning them, and now it's back at Image. So it's had that book has had some crazy runs.
Totally,
it has a crazy history.
TV series.
I was just about to say, wasn't it a TV series?
A horrible TV that basically did not even take the comic. It just took the basic premise and tried to make like Law and Order superhero intent, basically. Like it was a crap version of this comic.
So that PlayStation show that was only on PlayStation Network, it was based on that book?
Yes.
Wow.
And horribly miscast because
it was garbage.
Yeah, it was bad. The main character in the comic is supposed to be like, he looks like Superman. He's just like giant bruiser of a guy. And they cast that little scrawny guy from District 9 to be like to be the main.
Charlton Copley.
That guy looks like 90 pounds soaking wet, and they make him play this giant bruiser.
Wait, the main character for District 9, that skinny, scrawny dude that becomes a prawn.
He's the one who plays the main police cop in Powers, the one who's like supposed to be just yoked.
Wow.
That's like, once they cast him, I was like, okay, this is just derailing. Like, just don't even watch this show because it has no resemblance to the comic. But
did you guys
read how the end of Crossover has that moment when the cops show up, and I was like, oh, dude, that's cool. I even had to like message Rod, because Rod's like, who are these guys?
That's crazy.
Like explain. I had to like send him pictures of the comics.
Charlton
guys,
is
I'm
a
outie.
fantastic actor, though. Like in a
Vincent.
Later, guys.
He's great. Bye, Vincent.
I didn't mean to scare him off.
You did. You do that. You do that to people, Remy.
Hold on. I got a question. Okay, so which one of you guys just bought the Savage Shores #1? Because I'm looking for it and it's not on eBay.
Vincent.
Who did
Vincent
it?
did.
Vincent said he did.
That's why he left.
You had to go.
I didn't buy it.
All right.
I wouldn't do that. I have to read it first. For me, I'm all about getting it after I read it. That's after I read Invincible. I said that's the best thing I've ever read. I'm getting #1, but I gotta read it first.
You should read Action Comics #1.
Is that a Superman story?
It's actually an anthology.
Oh.
It's well within price range too, so you can grab that, no problem.
If you save up for a couple of years, you might be able to afford a page that doesn't feature a superhero on that page.
It's one of the other anthology characters.
Well, I want the superhero on the page.
Yeah.
You
can't even piece together that book and just rebind it yourself for less than like 6 digits easily.
Yeah.
It's like a sliver of a cover. A sliver got encapsulated and sold for big money.
Yeah, I think Jimmy the Don's got like 6 copies.
Yeah. I need to read Irredeemable. I think that's the next one I want to read.
Oh, that is so good. That Mark Waid story.
Yeah, you've talked about it.
As a big fan of this guy right here, I cried like a baby at the end of that book. No, that's not Finn.
Pointing at Superman's junk.
Oh, the Hulk.
Yes. If you're a big fan of the Hulk, the end of that book hits you so hard in the feels. So hard. Like, oh my God, it was so good. My dad read it. Like, my dad is like not up to speed on moderns, and he just happened to pick up a collection of it. And he'll read like stuff like that out of order, you know. And he called me like, I'm going to drop you off a book tomorrow, and you've got to read it. And it was only like 50 issues with the annual one shot included. Oh my God, it gets bogged down at times, and you're just like, what's going on, man? Let's get this moving. But it finishes right. It finishes so strong. Oh my God.
What's the publisher on that one?
That's
Boom
Marvel.
Studios.
That's the irredeemable Ant-Man he's talking about.
It was Boom Studios. Mark Waid wrote it. I can't remember who the artist on it was. This is like earlier Boom. So it's probably like, I think it's like 5 or 6 years ago. I'm not like 100 on that.
Nice. I'll look for it.
I've got issues 1 through 37 on eBay for $60.
Oh, that's not bad. I just saw the compendium at my LCS. I thought about grabbing it, but I want to read it digitally. I think it might be on Comixology.
Sometimes you can find those older runs like that on Comixology, and you get like a super steep discount. You can get a ton of them.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're free.
And there's that.
I mean, if you want to go that route, they have the whole thing collected in one volume. I'm sure it wouldn't be too much to get it.
Nice.
That's how I read it. It said omnibus, but it was still only like this. And I got to tell you, like, omnibus is the dumbest way ever invented to read comic books. Like, there's this huge hype train going around omnibuses. I'm sure that hype train is greatly centered around specific things.
Jim Matt.
Absolutely. Just the people that follow him closely, like,
I'm so glad we brought this up.
I love Jim.
But he's a great guy.
Oh yeah, I do too. But okay, so he was showing
not like these guys.
He was showing his books that he used to have. He had like an AF-15, X-Men 1, X-Men 2, Giant Size X-Men. I forget the books that he used to have and sold them all off. I thought like I would take like 2 of those books instead of all of your omnibus you've ever owned.
I'll take probably one of them.
Because
the question is, do you take any of the omnis off the shelf and ever actually read them?
Well, I mean, for me, I do sometimes.
But omnibuses and read that many omnibuses. There's not time to do that like that.
Yeah.
But it's the worst way to read a book, in my opinion, because you have to plan to read. You have to go clear a table or get an easel. You have to make sure it's sturdy. You have to pretty much grab the 20-pounders and do 5 reps each just to get ready.
Mark, they're not the Dead Sea Scrolls. They're not on like tablets. They're not on stone tablets.
Like they're huge. You have to work the spine open properly without damaging it. You have to go light candles and oil yourself down properly. Turn on Barry Manilow to enjoy a book.
You got to exercise your arms a little bit. That's what
that is.
It's
Do I go to War and Peace, or do I look at that new omnibus?
Oddly specific.
It blows my mind that those are collectible though, because like it's just collected. It's just a collected thing.
Here's the best.
Yeah,
part
but people collect everything
because
that's
like
stupid.
the second X-Men Claremont omnibus right now is like $300 if you can find a copy of it. But the funny thing is, like every 5 years they seem to reprint these. So like at what point are you like, I just wait and then I pay the $70 at your shop or whatever for it? Like, because so I have been collecting obviously the X-Men run, and I just recently got to the beginning of the Sandman run in omnibus, and I don't mind reading them that way. I think I kind of dig it, but I totally understand that like shelf space wise and like storage wise, very complicated, and you have to care for them. Like Mark is saying, you do have to care for them.
Honest question, John. When you sit in your chair and put that in your lap and read it, how long does it take before your feet go numb?
Well, I don't know how long you're reading. Like
my feet are always long.
How many issues do you read at a sitting? I don't know. Usually I'm reading just 1 or 2 at a time. So that's
now
like,
they
I'm
are
reading it.
larger formatted though, which is always nice when you get anything in a deluxe format. It gives the art really room. Like that's why I like the prestige stuff when Black Label actually like does the prestige ones, because like just the art just looks so much better and big end. And
let me grab one.
All right,
I got one to show you. Hold on.
DC comes out with like those oversized hardbacks of famous stories like Watchmen or Hush or the Alex Ross anthology that he did for the Justice League, and it all just looks better and big and like that.
See, I feel bad. I feel like when you get an omnibus, like that's the one that you can beat up a little bit more. That's the one that you shouldn't, handle with so much care like you would with like a first printing of a comic, or even like a trade. Like I don't have any omnibuses, but I'm planning to buy like 3 of them within the next year. And I feel like, you know what, this is something that I can just go ahead and throw on the table, go ahead and open up and read, let everyone put their fingerprints on it. I'm not worried about that. But now I'm hearing that you guys are saying that people actually collect omnibuses and these could be collectibles that be worth something later on.
Before a certain person started doing it.
But I mean, with my girls, like I love getting trade paperbacks because my girls can read them and I don't worry about them damaging it or anything. They can enjoy all kinds of things. I pulled out the giant Silver Surfer
I've
Black.
seen that.
I freaking love
that
I
cover
freaking
alone
love
is worth buying it for.
It's just
That's
it's a
amazing.
bonkers way to read this amazing saga.
That is sick.
So this is one of those few like prestige. Well, I don't even know if it's considered prestige or whatever, but like it's just amazing.
That's
to look
pretty
at the
dope.
artwork
That's
this way.
real dope. Yeah.
God,
But
don't you
how
wish
do you
you could
store
read
this? 'Cause
everything
every
like that?
shelf I've put this on, it just doesn't fit. You got to like put it in sideways above the other books. But that's one of the few that I think like that's a crazy way to read a comic, but it works beautifully for this.
Yeah, and I've just read Panda was generous enough to lend me his Invincible compendiums, which are smaller than the omnibuses, right?
But they're still pretty big, yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
I have the first one of that.
Yeah,
Lars, don't listen to my opinion. Like my whole thing is too many people are listening to someone else's opinion and just chasing them down. Find out for yourself. Go get one and see what you think.
Yeah.
And work it out, go to the gym and lift a few and just see how you feel.
Don't go try to.
I
buy
don't
one
think it's a
without doing
bad
10
thing.
sit-ups. You're going to injure yourself.
I'm like I agree with Mark and the collect, but I just don't understand why they're collectible.
I
like,
totally agree because they reprint them every so often. So why
It's
is
just
it
a printing. It's of a collection.
Isn't it like print run? Because for every
That's
collectible
stupid.
in
It's
every shop,
collected.
they only get like one or two of those. And
But you can find
Yeah.
like 4 different reprints of the Claremont X-Men Omnis in different stages, and it's like
Mhm.
each one of them apparently now is $300 or
Each
whatever.
shop
It's
only
stupid.
gets one or two because it's a massive size collected volume. Like you don't see any shop ordering 50 trade paperbacks that come out
No.
because people bought the floppies. They've read it. There's only so many people, which is a smaller margin, collected volumes and reading it that way. And people that are like, oh, I'd like to get the story all in one, it just reads better. Well, dude, by the time the Omni comes out, all of it's already come out in individual trades for a fraction of the price, easier to read and
Sometimes.
digestible.
Because I will say, like with the Claremont X-Men, they have not made trades of all that stuff. So for anybody that wants to read the Claremont X-Men, you can get like certain story arcs, like certain main events, but there's a ton of issues that you're not going to find in a trade.
What about the Marvel Masterworks that have been coming out
Those-
for decades now?
Yeah, exactly. Those cover certain arcs, but they haven't done the entire thing.
They haven't just continued the volume like they've done with everything else. Like
You
DC
know
Arc-
these publishers, they only go as long as they're making money, and at some point they're like, let's do something different.
And then, like,
So
Louis-
I've enjoyed it for the X-Men, but I'm not going to buy Omnis for everything. That's just crazy. It's a ton of money too.
It
I
is.
I found out too that like I was planning to buy most of mine through Amazon or whatever, but my LCS gets them a week early and gets them and charges me like 20% lower than what Amazon charges. So you should check with your LCS if you want to buy one, because you might be able to get both of those kind of deals where you get it earlier and costs less.
Yeah, the one trade paperback for Something's Killing the Children. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
The Frisson cover.
Mm-hmm.
Why? I don't get it.
There we go. Look what he's got. The Essential. Yeah.
Yeah, those are great. If you're just trying to read the story, there it is, the cheapest format possible, black and white interiors collected.
And that's the edition where they realized Storm was naked in one of the. So that they printed it in black and white for the first time, and they realized that Storm getting out of the shower, when they colored it, you couldn't see that she's naked. But when they put it in black and white, it was like a huge scandal.
It makes you
So
wonder
one
why
of those is like
the artist even drew it like that, knowing that it wasn't going to make it into print. But
because John Byrne's amazing.
yeah, hashtag free the nip variant there.
All right, I'm gonna go make breakfast for the girls, man.
Yeah, I'm about to be hopping off here in a second too. I was waiting for my wife.
Thanks for letting me join, guys.
Oh, thank you for joining, man. It's been this. I think it's the first time we've chatted live.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. High
right.
five.
Awesome,
Bye, guys.
John.
Over this way. Bye, guys.
I'm about to get ready. We're gonna hit Olive Garden for lunch. I'm craving endless salad and breadsticks.
That's amazing. That sounds great. Their minestrone. There was something that my ex did with their minestrone salad or
Did they have any
minestrone soup.
megastrone?
What was it?
Did they have megastrone as well?
Or
just minestrone?
Just make. I was like, what are you talking about? Oh. So you realize I woke up at 5:30 this morning, so my gears aren't going around. But she did something weird with minestrone and bread and some pasta, and it actually turned out pretty cool. She just mixed a bunch of stuff together. I don't know.
He's trying to find it, DJ. No page left unturned.
Oh, did he find it? Is that it? It's blurry.
Oh, you found it?
I don't know if was John talking about giant size or some other issue. Did he mention the issue?
He didn't mention.
I don't remember him saying. Yeah, I can.
Yeah, I'm hella old. I'm like trying to go in.
Well, let me get this banner down. Make it a little bit bigger.
I'll DM it to him if he wants to check it out.
Yeah.
Yes, I can.
All right, I got to get to work myself, you guys. You guys have an awesome weekend. Yeah,
E-Man, plug your variant again.
I would, but I don't know how. It's somewhere.
With your words.
Just say it.
In my words. All right. Make sure you guys go to RKFA Comics and pick up a copy of the C-List Villains variant of Beyond the Breach #1 from Aftershock Comics. Variant cover by Rudy Owl. Amazing cover. So you guys go check it out. That'd be awesome. Help us out. Be great.
Hey, what was it again, Eamon?
RKFA Comics.
Rare Key First Appearance is what it's short for. Yeah. Rare Key First Appearance.
Yeah. But it's weird because Luke said that rkfacomics.com, but not www.rk. So if you guys are the type that put the www before that, don't do it. So it's just
I'm a big www.
If you live in the wide world, there's no reason these days to type www. I don't think it's kind of assumed that we all live here.
It's why who goes to www World Wide Web? That's so 90s.
I think it's all just included in the internet now. We'd have to ask Chip to verify, but I'm fairly certain the internet's all inclusive.
Like if you just Google RKFA Comics, it'll come up for sure.
I Bing personally.
Prior to that, he was on Netscape and then Internet.
Yeah. It all started with Ask Jeeves.
Yeah, I've been asking Jeeves for probably about 35 years.
Yeah.
Who's Jeeves?
And you know what? There's an ask.com main office here in Oakland. So every time I drive on the freeway, I see this big old ask.com sign on the building. I'm like, man, Jeeves, man, he's still out there. He's still kicking it, isn't he?
Yeah, that's me. Hey, can I ask, is that bunny mask one of yours also?
That's Luke's. So that's RKFA Comics is exclusive. And he's a part of the C-List Villains. So that's his, because that's his first, this is his shop. So that's his very first exclusive. Beyond the Breach is the C-List Villains' very first exclusive, and Bunny Mask is RKFA's first.
And Beyond the Breach is being sold through RKFA.
Yeah.
So the Bunny Mask is the shop exclusive. The Breach is the podcast exclusive being sold through the shop.
Yes. That.
Luke needs to beef up that website for strangers when they come across it.
All right, guys. Have a good day.
Hey, can I ask for brigade 0 through 5 on this? Dude,
that was so funny. I'll tell you guys about that later. Take it easy. Later.
All right, y'all have a good one. I appreciate everybody coming to hang out this morning. As always, thank you everyone for hopping on here and kicking it with me on Friday mornings. It's always a blast. And thank you, chat, for hanging out with us. Hope to see you Sunday at 9 p.m. on, as Nick is showing you, Legion of Comics on YouTube for At Week's End. So we're going to spoil some comics and all that good stuff. So until next time, as always, I'm Mark, but we are Legion. Thank you, Finn.